Hello, cyberspace. It is I, Terra, your favorite cyber bitch here. And tonight's title is The Musketeers. Terra doesn't need your permission to do a fucking thing. And you're going to find
right,
out
motherfuckers.
in just a minute. So I have with me... Do what?
I said, we don't need your permission.
Fuck no. I don't need no one's permission to do a fucking thing. I'm a 37-year-old woman.
There you go.
Straight.
And I'll use that fucking white privilege and that woman privilege where I can break down into fucking tears and make a man do whatever the fuck I want because he doesn't want to hear me goddamn blubber.
I certainly don't.
I start blubbering, baby, it's too cold. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to go to Starbucks and get a pumpkin frappuccino. Can't you just make me run on your cappuccino machine, please? And he's going to make me a fucking pumpkin spice cappuccino on his fucking cappuccino machine because he doesn't want to hear me fucking blubber about the goddamn cold.
Yep. She's right on that.
So, with me tonight, I have, as always, he was born 10 years after me.
Hey.
He looks like my father, but I call him the Chunky Monkey.
That nickname's never going to get old, dude.
That's so cool.
Hey, that's what I called him when he was a baby.
What's so
our
cool?
daddy started calling our sister a butterball, like a butterball.
Butterball, oh my god.
You know, Chunky Monkey is actually kind of cool, man. I mean, look at my nickname, Pachota. Seriously. If you got to choose between the two, I don't think that you got a bad one.
Yeah, Scooby's a little nugget of joy.
No, I think I would definitely choose Chunky Monkey over Cookie Dough.
You're a funny guy, Kel.
As he cracked his knuckle.
We have the love of my life.
Oh, you're so sweet.
The man who can make you laugh no matter what. A natural redhead, no freckles, but also no soul. My
Greetings, motherfuckers. I return. I'm not dead yet. I'm just overworked and adequately paid. Adequately.
And, of course, we have he who really needs no introduction. You either love him or you hate him. Otherwise, you can all fuck off. Scooby 331.
Oh, I did a terrible air horn.
Is that what that was supposed to be?
Yeah,
that's what it was supposed to be.
Not bad though. Not bad. I like that.
Why I'm not using my soundboards is because the computer's been overheating faster. So I have to wait till I can, dip into Burnside's bank account. And of course, we have the oily, but in a good way. Chocolate, deep voiced, southern sexy man, your boy Pat.
Yeah.
And of course, his bitch ass is muted.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Like I told you, I'm into my wrestling right now, so you gotta hear me. I'm be in and out.
Hey, let me know if I win that $20,
I was giving you a longer introduction so you would know it was you. I said the oily, but in a good way, and chocolate.
You're trying to buy time and it didn't work. You went horrible.
That's because he's sitting there getting a man hard on for fucking one of the Hardy Boys.
Hey, as long as they lose the match, I get my $20.
I said, shush, I've been watching wrestling all my life.
Yeah, so was I until Hogan left.
Yeah, times change, but it's still, I'm saying, it's still exciting to me.
He had to have 2 knee replacement surgeries on each knee. Yeah, it's time for you to be done.
Yeah. Wrestling takes a toll on the body.
Yeah, like, you can only do it to a certain point, man. Like I said, and now it's like a lot of this new generation is stepping up. Yeah, it's still all right, but like I said, on the professional side, it's got its ups and downs. Most of it's like in the indies now, where all the excitement is, because in the indies, you pretty much, you pretty much, I'm saying, ain't got that many like limited rules and all this shit like that, where you got to do like professional wise and all that right there, where like you said, like in the indies and things like that, they still have like intergender matches and things like that, like where like on TV, like in the WWE and shit like that, you can't do nothing at all. Oh yeah, women can slap you around left and right and stuff like that, but if you're a man, you can't put not one finger on them because everybody starts screeching, don't touch the women, they and shit.
That's wrestling, man. Some of the chicks are
Mhm.
tougher than the dudes, man.
Well,
Kidding
yeah.
me? Fuck. There's brutal bitches that get into wrestling.
Unless they're the professional ones, like on WWE and stuff like that, all those women on there are freaking, they're powder puffs. Even Ronda Rousey on the WWE, she trying to, and her and Becky Lynch, they're trying to display like these little badasses and stuff like that, like they can regularly take on men, but it's like they're too bushy.
There was this girl I went to school with, and she was basically like a Valkyrie, the way this bitch was built. I'll never forget it. Like, I think I said this before on the air, but like, you would have to, like a guy my size too, you haul off as hard as you could and blast this broad in the face. All that did was buy you time. Seriously.
shit.
Like, give you an idea, she got into a fight with this girl once, and she goes up to the high school, and she beat the shit out of the girl's boyfriend.
Damn!
This was probably one of the toughest girls I'd ever seen. And I remember there was these two other girls. They were really, really, I mean, holy shit, were they tough. And the two of them jumped her and beat the shit out of her badly. And I remember the next day, I have never been shook before in my life. And this was a chick that got me shook. And I was like, holy shit, I'll never forget it. I was like maybe 16 or 17 years old. And somebody comes in and they're like, yo, so-and-so's big sister's outside, and she's got the two of them by their throats. So I walk outside, and the big sister was there, and the big sister was maybe my size. And she had these two girls by the jaw, and she had them, their feet were dangling. I was like, holy shit. There was this big Norwegian family. And, yeah, bro, I mean, I remember, too, because she let go of the two of them. And the guy who's actually married to that girl I was talking about, the one who's the New York Times best-selling author, her future husband said something to this girl, the one who was walking away, the sister, and the sister hauled off and fucking laid him out without even breaking her stride. Like, she hit him when she was walking. I'm like, she's walking like towards the sidewalk. She didn't stop walking. She hauled off and hit him sideways, and the fucking guy spun on his heel and dropped.
Damn.
Yeah. So, depending, like, seriously, if you got a problem with, like, a woman like that, bro, by all means, fucking put your hands up and defend yourself. I don't give a flying fuck what the SJWs say. Seriously. Like, you're gonna get your ass beat anyway. You might as well defend yourself. Oh, man.
Gotta love it. It's fucking funny.
Speaking of that shit, though, did you see the new thing this rapper over in England did?
No, what is it? You remember me?
Oh, you're going to love this. So this rapper goes like this. He goes into this gym and breaks the woman's powerlifting record and goes like this. I identified as a woman when I did that. By your own logic, if you say that I am not a woman, you're a bigot.
Oh my god, I love it.
I'll try. Let me go look for the video. I'll send it to you.
We gotta play that. That's fucking hysterical.
I can't believe you didn't hear about that.
No one told me shit. That's fucking hysterical. I love it.
Rapper breaks female deadlift record. All right, here you go. I'm going to send it to you right now.
All right.
I can't believe you didn't hear that before. That's too funny. All right. Hold on. I'm tagging you with it right now in the group chat. There we go. And boom. I watched this the other day. I was chuckling my ass off.
Hold on. Let me see this. Oh, is there a way how I can present this insane shit?
Actually, yeah, hold on 1 second before you present that.
Oh, that would be me presenting.
All right, yeah, well, hold on. Before you do
All right,
anything.
well here, let me give it to you then, darling. So you can go ahead and present that, because this has got to be the funniest shit ever.
I wanted to adjust it. I had a timestamp I wanted to get rid of.
All right, well, I'm giddy as fuck.
Yeah, it's hysterical. They're like, they're all up in arms about it. How could he? How dare he? How this? How that? Well, you guys kind of painted yourselves in a corner with your friggin' circular logic.
Yep. Said you must identify in order to do something.
All right.
Did?
Screen sharing. Present to everyone.
Should we do a drum roll?
Athlete must demonstrate that her total testosterone level in serum has been below 10 nmol liters for the last 12 months. All right.
Testosterone is not the only difference that gives men a physical advantage over women, especially in strength and speed. There are other factors as well. If someone's gone through puberty as a male, you're likely to be considerably taller, especially at the extreme ends. You're going to have a different bone structure. You're going to have bigger hands, your entire musculoskeletal system will still remain that of a man. So if I were to take some hormone blockers and suppress my testosterone levels for 12 months, I'd still have considerable physical advantages over someone who's been a woman for their entire life. So it's not just as simple as the testosterone levels. I have nothing against, I don't think anybody in this debate has anything against any individuals or groups. It's merely about maintaining fairness and not distorting reality in a way that could actually be very harmful and perhaps even, could actually ruin women's sport if it's let to go to its full conclusion, really.
And he does have a point.
Yeah, he does. That actually
beautiful
is
speaking voice too.
And he's a snappy one.
No, seriously, a beautiful speaking voice. Man's a pleasure to listen to. Well, it's refreshing to see somebody using their brains to outsmart these dimwits at their own game.
Stop.
And it's just absurd. Because there's also, you have to look at it this way. There are probably men who are going to be washing out of the men's sport who are just going to go into the women's sport. So basically, they're robbing away from the women. You're
absolutely.
You're making it like, let's say somebody like me who has a back injury. I cannot go and compete anymore, for deadlifting for my back as a man. But I could probably compete a lot easier, in the women's category. Just because of the natural muscle mass I have in my shoulders and my chest and arms from doing it for years, I could probably compensate and make up for the difference of loss that I have in the strength of my back.
Mm.
And I'd still have that advantage over the women.
Yes, the thing was, I be tripping off of stuff like this right here, because when all this first got started, it was let's see, what am I looking for? It was with the intent of thinking that saying that all these women that identify as men and stuff like that were going to start invading the men's sport and all that right there. That's what they thought was going to happen. They didn't know it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah.
So now it's like, now that it's flipping the other way, you got all these transgender females, or you got these guys identifying as female and stuff like that, playing by their rules, giving a taste of their own medicine. Now they're just, I'm pretty sure they're like, well, hold on, this is what we was talking about.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's the funny part is it's because it's their bias. They're showing it right there that they have, it's their inherent sexism. They immediately they're saying, well, it's the men are going to be complaining about the women, well, we can't join the boys club. That's always the same shit that they say. That drives me fucking nuts. you know, as one of those people, I got no problem when there's co-ed shit. But at the same time, if we're having something that's not co-ed specifically for whatever reason, be it reason X, there is no reason for them to sit there and, well, we have to invade this. Why? There's already a co-ed alternative, or there's an all-women's alternative. Why is it now we have to basically take away everything that's just for men? I'm only saying this for like an example. Rock climbing. Now, nothing against women, but I would think that they, you know, there have been like all male rock climbing groups because they're doing a different climbing pace. I personally would think that actually an all women's rock climbing group would probably be much better because they're lighter and they can excel up the side of the rock faster. They're not going to, and you know, it's just there's less weight, less mass. You know, that's why I'm using that as an example. That's one of those things like when they bitch that they want to integrate it, I'm thinking to myself, all right, you're going to force integration. You're actually detracting from yourself because this is one of those rare sports where women's size actually gives them the advantage. You know,
they don't care about detracting so long as they can. I'm saying, if as long as nothing is just like male exclusive, because they're afraid that, you know, men are going to have some secret that they don't know.
Yeah, that's bless you. And that's,
they gotta know what men are doing all the time.
Oh yeah, because you know we're always up to some devious psychotic shit. You know?
Baby, do I have to know what you're doing all the time?
Fuck no. You act like you need my permission for something.
Yeah, but those type of women do.
yeah. You know, I want to tell you guys something right now, and this is how you can tell when you're dealing with somebody who leans left. When they say things to you like, well, aren't you concerned that your wife is going to be checking your phone? Like, it's little tells like that. Like, for example, my wife and myself, we never check each other's phones. We don't do that. There's trust. If, you know, like these people, they actually live in a relationship where there's no trust, where they have to check up on their spouses. I
The
mean,
only time I have ever checked, especially when I was married, my ex-husband's phone was when he gave me pause to.
right. Well, I'm saying there's one thing when like there's a spouse that's cheating. I'm just saying a lot of these leftists, that's their default. Everyone is going to, oh, everyone does it. Everyone this, everyone cheats, everyone lies, everyone steals. And it's a lot of it is projecting. These are the ways you can tell beforehand that you're dealing with a person like this. It's better to find out early on. I always say what type of person you're dealing with. That way you don't invest time into them.
They assume this because they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
But,
a lot of people.
They assume that everyone's going to come at them because they go at everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah. They do it, so they assume that everybody else does it. It's just nothing but projection.
Yeah. Like, I remember there was this one couple that I was friendly with, and I was talking about how I forget, I would think I was talking about an actress in a movie or a girl who could even have been, who worked at a store, a young girl who worked at a store in the neighborhood. And I said, beautiful girl that works there. For whatever reason, I think I was just siding out because there was a few girls who worked at the place, and the one girl was just very strikingly beautiful. And this girl, the one that's with was with my friend, she, how dare you say that in front of your wife? I look at her, I go, huh? She's like, how dare you talk about another woman in front of your wife, and going on and on and on about it. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, she tells me if she thinks somebody is nice looking all the time, she'll tell me the nice looking guy in there. That way I don't go up to the fat oaf if he's not the one I got to talk to when I go into the store. If there's one guy that looks like Brad Pitt and another guy that looks like fucking a Yeti, I'm not going to talk to the Yeti if she says talk to the nice looking one. It's common fucking sense.
Yeah. Which they horribly lack.
Yeah, but these...
You know, everything to these fuckers has to be absolutely fucking devious. I mean, that's why they're the left. You know, it's like the proverbial left-hand path. You know, Thulu, rapey, dark magic shit and all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah, well, you have to realize this, and I point this out all the time. Left and sinister, they're both the same word in Latin.
Yep.
Yeah. You have to realize that.
Wait, what?
The word left and the word sinister are the same exact word in Latin. They both have the same root word.
I wonder if that's what led to the belief that left-handed people were evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a lefty.
I'm one of those rare people you meet that I'm ambidextrous, because when I was a kid, I'm just old enough. Actually, Pat, you and I are about the same age. I wanted to ask you if they did this to you, because they still did it in New York. When you would write with your left hand, they would take the pencil out of your hand and they'd make you write with your right hand.
No, they never did that to me.
They did that to me when I was a kid. And I went to school when the teachers would still come up behind you and smack the yardstick on your desk.
Oh no, I got smacked in the hand with a ruler.
They didn't do
But
that
I'm not
anymore.
dexterous because they smacked my hand so hard one time that there were several welts on my hand because I refused to use my right hand. Because my mom said I didn't have to.
Yeah.
So we went out for recess. I slid through the slats. My nanny's house was literally across the street from the playground for the daycare. My grandmother's house was next door to my nanny's house. My nanny was asleep. I knew this. My grandmother was home because she worked the night shift cancer ward. I went to my grandmother's house crying, showed her my hand. And next thing you know, my mom, my grandmother, and my aunt are all at the daycare wanting to know why the hell I have welts on my hand.
Should have sued.
No, my mom got free daycare for the rest of the time I was there.
Well, shit, that's definitely a good comp.
Yeah, I was gonna say I should have sued. You would own the daycare center.
No, we liked Aunt Dot. She didn't know that was happening. She fired the daycare worker.
You know, my wife, she used to work at a daycare. It was actually the one that she worked at was. I don't even want to say where they are, actually, at this point now I'm thinking about it, because these people are the type that would come after me with a lawsuit. I'll just say this. They had a lot of clients that they were taking care of, and I think about 2 or 3 of these kids, the fathers were actually, I don't know which players they were. I never bothered to go look at them because I stopped following football. I stopped following the Jets when they brought on the dog killer Vic, because you guys know I have rescue dogs. So once Michael Vick signed with the Jets, I called up my nephew and said, come over here. I got I think it was $5,000 worth of memorabilia I gave him. But I digress. When my wife was working at this daycare center, 2 or 3 of the clients were actually the fathers were players for the New York Jets. And, you know, I seen them when they come. Yeah. Well, they actually, where this daycare center was, you get right up over onto the expressway, and that takes you right up over to Hofstra. Hofstra is where the Jets practice. When I used to go to Nassau Community College, which is across the street from Hofstra, when I would grab lunch, you know, usually there was a girl in the class I was trying to talk to. I'd take the girl and I'd go to Hofstra to watch the Jets practice, because, you know, they practice there every year. And
I'm waiting for 6 to get in here so I can tell my story as to why the title of the show is what it is.
I know.
I'll wait.
Six and tell him to get his ass in here. He's the only
waiting on 6.
Yeah, still waiting on 6.
He's taking his time, damn it.
He's probably eating fried chicken or a block of cheese. Those are the 2 things the man does.
Hang out.
Yeah, but it's like in order to have like a job like working at a daycare center, is like, to me it's like you gotta love children. You can't treat that like a job, like, you know, like, oh, this is just 9 to 5 right there. You gotta love children, man, because you know, if you don't, man, you aren't going to, you know, you are not going to enjoy that job.
No, not at all.
Hence, I will never work in a daycare because I don't enjoy children.
Oh my God!
I'm saying, especially like I said, dealing with the
yes, I know. I've seen her Facebook.
Dealing with the Rugrat Bratz ones. Oh no! I can't do it. Shit.
Oh yeah,
if you well behaved, yeah, it's like if you well behaved, man, you can get anything out of me. But you Rugrats, oh man, you better get your child before I hurt him.
Like when I was a kid. Like, I remember how my father, like, I never got grounded. I never got grounded. I'd get, like, a smack across the ass, and I'd get told, okay, get outside, strip all the paint off the boat, and I want 2 coats of fresh paint. Like, grounding? No, you don't ground a child. You ground a child, the child is just going to get into more mischief. No, you take away all their electronics, you put them out in the yard, you put them to work. That's what you do with a kid. You give them a shovel, you give them a bucket. Okay, I want you to go do this. Then they come back, you give them a broom, you give them a dustpan. I want you to go do this. You make that kid regret getting in trouble. You know, you're gonna sit there and think about it. No. Okay, come on, we got to regrout shit, and we got to put in some. You know, we're putting in new tiles. So get off your ass. Come on.
Yeah, I got caught with cigarettes at school. So my dad, he worked at a mechanic shop. So my dad literally, he put me in the storage room, handed me a toothbrush, and said, "Sweep the floor."
You know what they used to do when I was a kid? My friends' fathers, when they caught them with the cigarettes, father would come home, put a pack of cigarettes on the table. Sit down, son. You
Oh,
say
my
you
dad
want
knew,
to?
my dad knew that wasn't going to affect me.
Yeah. You guys know the trick I'm talking about. You like smoking
Mm.
cigarettes, huh?
Smoke
Okay.
2, smoke 4, smoke 6, smoke 10.
Yeah. You
That's
got
a good old fashioned one.
I had friends that would happen where so you want to drink beer? Okay, the father would come home. There's a suitcase. Kids want, nowadays that's cruelty. We're gonna take your kids away. Yeah, by you saying that's cruelty, we're gonna take it. When you start curtailing parenting, is when you have kids dressing like ninjas and knocking over garbage cans because they want communism. That's what happens when you
Yep.
curtail the parenting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you got a guy, his son, you find out that the son was sitting there trying to go break into a house to go, screw around with another girl, and the father beats the shit out of this, like the son. Instead of giving him a reprimand, maybe you should give the man a citation. That's just the way I look at it. I mean, the same thing like with a mother. If a mother finds out, you got a single mother out there, and she finds out her son is wilding the fuck out, and he comes home and he gets uppity, and that fucking woman just hauls off and blasts that boy in the face and drops him on his ass. That to me isn't child abuse. That's just fucking parenting. I'm sorry.
That's discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Seriously. It's like Dennis Leary said. You want to see parenting, beat the shit out of your kids and make them go mow the lawn. I'm a firm believer in that. Now, I'm not saying the kid knocks over, the kid knocks over a glass of milk. Don't sit there and beat the shit out of the kid. Like, give him, the Bounty or whatever brand you use and let the kid clean the counter off. You don't. But if the kid's sitting there and he's throwing the milk on his sibling, yeah, maybe you pull the little bastard by his hair and throw him out in the yard and make him go do something. I don't know. I see a solution with parenting. It's not rocket science. If the kid doesn't behave himself, okay, you punish him the easy way. Oh, you don't want to behave? You see that ladder? Go clean the fucking gutters. You don't want to behave? Get under the sink. I need you to clean the pipes. Start scraping. Here's the Brillo pad. Hard labor. That straightens kids the fuck out like that.
Yep.
I don't know. I just look at it this way. I was never into heavy drugs. I was never into heavy drinking. I was never into heavy womanizing. No speeding tickets, no parking tickets. I didn't commit any crimes. Why? Because whenever I got out of line, my parents would smack the shit out of me and make me do chores. And I did chores anyway beforehand. It wasn't like the chores were just a punishment. You just got more chores. Like in a household with a lot of kids, this was a punishment when I was a kid. In a household with a lot of kids, if one of the kids got in trouble, he had to take some of the workload from the other kids. At least that's how it should be. Nowadays with these, oh God, no. They got maids, they got landscapers, they got housekeepers, they got the kids are startled
and barely do anything.
And they got these kids now. They're in daycare, they're in pre-K, they're in kindergarten, they're in nursery school, they're in preschool, and then they're in the daycare when they get out of school. Do you know how many of these kids never see their actual biological parents except when they come home to go to sleep? Why do you have kids if you're not going to raise them?
Yeah.
Seriously.
All right, if Six doesn't get in here in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to tell my story without him.
All right.
I even messaged him.
I hit him up too. I hope he's all right.
Maybe he got a food coma from all that chicken he loves eating so much. This is Six you're talking about. That does tend to happen.
Yeah.
Either that or he's having to wash all the shame off.
The shame.
I pick on him because he works at Goodwill. So whenever he's like, I got to go take a shower, it's like, yeah, go wash off the shame.
The shame. Oh,
the shame.
That's so horrible.
I'm sorry, but I don't care how desperate I am not working at Goodwill. I go there shopping for certain things. Yes, I try to avoid buying clothes there if possible. I'll buy other things there. But I have seen the conditions that shit comes in.
Yeah.
I have had these people be as rude as fuck to me. I have seen what their back storeroom looks like. Their bathrooms are cleaner than the rest of the store at the ones here in town.
Damn.
But I'll tell you one thing, I will not go shopping for any reason whatsoever, and I tell everyone else not to, at fucking Salvation Army.
I used to work retail.
Oh, what happened now?
A few years ago, and they still do this, mind you. Salvation Army had a homeless man come in, and some of the homeless men were like, "You guys don't let gays in. He's gay." So they kicked him out, and he froze to death.
Oh, Christ almighty. They let a guy freeze to death?
Yeah, they let a guy freeze to death. They had the spare bed. They had an empty bed. But because Salvation Army does not allow gay people, they kicked them out.
That's bullshit.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't give a...
Don't support Salvation Army.
That's like me. It's like, hell. It's like, hell. I'm of the Christian faith right there, man. But if I got a spare bed, I don't give a damn if you're a full-on devil worshiper and shit like that and everything, man. If it's cold outside, bring your ass up in here.
Yeah, seriously,
Yeah, I mean, I may make fun of the Cthulhu people, but if they're on the side of the road and I ain't got nothing better to do, yeah, sure, I'll go give them a hand. Fuck them, why not?
Yeah, that's like fucking Anita Sarkeesian. No, and I can't stand that person right there. But hell, if she needed help and I could provide it, man, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that is. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to process the thought of them and they actually were able to do that with a clear conscience. That's the thing that how are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be an organization that deals in faith and.
Yeah.
How
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. I'm flabbergasted. It's mind blowing to me.
That's really out of character.
That just fucked with my head thinking about that.
Exactly.
That poor man.
I'm like, damn.
That poor man. Like I'm one of those people, I can't see certain things. Like hearing something like that. Like I can't watch certain videos because like certain things when you see it, it just I don't got the stomach for it. It'll make me lose my marbles. And it's one of those things, God forbid if I see something and the person is within like driving distance. Like there was this guy, Burnside had actually heard the thing. I think Burnside and Kelt were listening when I was watching the news. Some guy in like out east from me, and God forgive me for saying this to you guys, that you got to hear this, but this is the truth. Some guy about a week or two ago got into an argument. Some guy in maybe his 30s with his 88-year-old grandmother, and he clawed her eyes out.
Oh, that royally pissed me off.
And I said, yeah,
I got it.
And I said it then, and I'll say it now. If there is a God, he better not ever put me in the same room as this fucking guy, because I'll probably do time. Just the thought of this fucking guy doing that to his 88-year-old grandmother. My mother's not near that old, but I look at my mother, and the thought of somebody like one of my nephews, if they would have done it to I'd cut their fucking hands off. I mean, I'd use a hacksaw too. I'd make a day of it.
All right, here, I'm telling my fucking story.
All right.
All right, so as you guys know, Pat doesn't know, I don't think. I have posted in my local buy-sell trade groups that I'm ordained because I'm trying to get up the money to go to more, pay for my part of the hotel room, fix it to where Burnside isn't paying for everything for me, even though I know he doesn't mind.
Yep, no fucks given. Do what I gotta do.
But here's what I posted. Now, first I want you guys to tell me if it sounds horrible or anything like that. It says, I'm ordained through Universal Life Church. Now, mind you, real quick, I did research before I posted how much I charge. And this is actually the lowest in the state of Florida. I charge $50 for local weddings and then $10 for every 10 miles out of town I have to travel. I am willing to do any type of wedding you wish, from secular to satanic, from medieval to nudist wedding. I'm down. You can message me here or call me or text me. Please tell me who you are and why you're texting. Thank you. And I put my number. Does that sound horrible or, ungodly or anything like that?
Nah. You got to get one of those outfits like Liberace if you're going to marry people, though.
No.
That would be a hysterically awesome idea.
With like one of the really big high feather collars like that they were wearing in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Pat, I know you were listening. What do you think?
He's like,
No, he's sitting there staring at fucking Tom Hardy. Dude, stop stroking your man boner for Tom Hardy and answer me.
And we wait.
I personally don't what we're waiting on, Pat. I don't think that.
Okay.
Anything
well,
what you said.
Both you and Burnside are Catholic, or at least raised Catholic. Saying from secular to satanic, does that say to you that I only do satanic?
Nah.
No. But a lot of, especially like Catholics, we tend to be, unless we're like, look, we tend to be either really loose or Opus Dei. We run hot or cold.
Yeah.
It's
good got a point with that.
Yeah,
right,
Christians
so
probably the ones.
The key word is cheap. I said, and a lot of people can't afford what a notary or the courthouse would charge you. Now, a notary here can charge you anywhere from $150 to $250. The courthouse can charge anywhere between $250 to $400, and that's to get married either by a notary or a judge. And you can't. You pay the max, you get the judge. So I said, I do quality work at a low cost to the customer/client. He goes, if you say so. I said, go and Google how much it is. $50 is the cheapest listed. Have a good day, sir. So,
that sounds professional to me.
Do what?
I said, that sounds professional to me.
And so this chick, Brandy, just says, I thought the key word was satanic. LOL, ouch, and wow. But I guess to each their own. Marriage is ordained by God. Now, see,
they can hire you to do that. Congratulations.
Well, here's the thing. Marriage is actually a man-made construct. She's thinking holy matrimony. Holy matrimony is God or
yeah. I see. I wouldn't have thought of that.
No. Marriage is a man-made construct. You're thinking holy matrimony. Also, to be ordained is a legal issue, not a thing to do with God. And I put God in lowercase.
Good for you.
You're so backwards, honey. I don't have to answer for you to God, though. You know better as I do. Oh, God, she wrote a fucking essay. But you do have to answer for you. Good luck with all this. I'm not going to argue with you, but I think you only posted this to argue. No, bitch, I didn't. So that's cool. Maybe one of these days you'll see it before it's too late. I really pray for you. You're wrong. That's not even me. That's your creator. Whether you believe in him or not, he believes in you. Yeah, see, I've heard that shit before. If he really believed in me, he wouldn't have given me, disorders where I can't give birdside babies.
Well, I tell people all the time, because I was raised Catholic, I don't like the father, but I got no problem with the kid. That's the best way I can put it. I look at it this way. I don't like God. I don't like gods. I don't like any divinity. I don't like deities. I don't like anything above mankind. That's just the way I am. I look at it.
She just decided to give me the dictionary definition of ordained.
Yeah. She sounds like a raving doofus. Who gives a fuck?
That's okay. I'm about to piss her off royally.
Those are the ones. Oh, Lord.
Sorry, guys. I had to get ice cream.
Oh, there you are.
It's like me. It's like it's like I told you. It's like it's like I'm of the Christian faith and things like that. But the number
Yeah.
one thing I don't do is I don't go around trying to lambast I'm saying over people's head and stuff like that. That's what really gets on my nerves. Like, yeah, it's like you ask me, I'll tell you about my faith and my belief and things like that. But I'm not gonna sit up here and talk about
All right,
But I
so
just try to draw
I
this
just
distinction.
sent this bitch the link to Universal Life Church. She can suck on it. My
Well,
agreement is legal. Okay, I had another guy. I blocked this fucker because of what he said, and this is what caused the title of the show. He was saying that he goes, "You weren't ordained by God." I was like, "No, I was ordained by Universal Life Church. What I do is legal." Yes, but it wasn't ordained by God. You're wrong. Blah blah blah. There was a little bit of going back and forth originally. I go, when he said, you don't have to pay the tithe because he said his services are free. I'm thinking, oh, so he's a minister. I didn't say this. I was thinking this, and I was discussing it with my roommate. I go, I guarantee you it's a fucking lie. And she goes, yeah, he probably, has people pay for him to wed them. Because that's what we're thinking, is that he's a minister. He goes, and you don't have to pay the tithe I'm paying for correcting you. Now, what key word in there was the part that pissed me off? Oh, you got what?
Huh?
What was the key word that guy said that pissed me off?
Pay.
Correct.
That's right. I go, excuse me? Correcting me? I said, there is nothing wrong with me or my ordainment. My ordainment is legal by the laws of Florida and and federal laws. As long as I don't do anything illegal, I'm not wrong. And you can step off now. And I pretty much told him to fuck off. And earlier I was doing something akin to you, Scooby. I told him I hope he lives a long life.
There you go. I feel like a dick though saying this. You keep saying the Universal Life Church, and all I keep thinking of is that scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they Jay and Silent Bob get yelled at by Randall and Dante at the Quick Stop, and so they tell these two kids that go into the store, and they go up and they ask them, they're like, "So is it true what Jay and Silent Bob were telling us, that you two got married down the street at the Unitarian, what is it? The Universal Life Church?"
No, Unitarian.
Okay, because they say, yeah, you two got married down the street at the Unitarian Church, and you tied the knot dressed as stormtroopers in the Star Wars theme wedding.
I posted the link to the Universal Life Church in the side chat. So
not the memes you're looking for.
So the guy, continues on. And he says, you are not ordained by God. And he goes, I was like, dude, I'm trying to get up money to move. And he's like, well, I guess if it's okay with God, then it's okay with me. You need our permission first. Those were his words. You need our permission.
Here's the thing.
No,
Terra.
the fuck I don't. I didn't even respond. I went and blocked him.
Here's the thing,
Good.
Terra. People that give other people the most shit about other people's faith and that they're practicing of faith, particularly Christians. The people who don't give people shit, I consider them. I consider them the faithful. And the other group of people, I consider them fans.
I don't know if you heard what my ad says, but I sent it to you on Discord.
Okay. Now, the thing about fans is that they're just like fanboys of any fandom. They will give you shit if they don't think you're hip to their fandom.
Mm.
Well,
the people that I've met that that are actually the biggest fans are not the ones that actually go out and give people shit.
Well, you're gonna love my friend Atara one. So on this same thread, she goes, Terra, will you officiate my wedding? I'm planning on sacrificing virgins. Then when all that's done, we'll play with our own buttholes while singing praises to our Lord and Savior Lilith. Everyone in this thread is invited because honestly, they could use some butthole action since they're so uptight and obviously sexually unhappy. Oh, I forgot to mention, I will also have a midget play the kazoo while I walk down the aisle, which will also be covered with naked men. I have been scorned over the years by them, so I'm marrying my wonderful lesbian wife, who I will have lots of gay sex with. You down? It'll be perfect. I go, mind you, this is after I stopped laughing my fucking ass off. Dude, I think I tinkled a little laughing so hard. I go, I would be honored. When is the lovely day? She goes, on Satan's birthday, of course.
Oh, that's actually pretty.
I don't know. This gets better. This gets better. I go, okay, so on Halloween? She goes, no, silly, December 25th. I go, okay, that's right. Jeebus was born in the summer.
Yeah, he was born on June 6th.
That's been medically entertaining.
All y'all need Jesus.
Another thing, Terra, is that the problem with fans is that they're the most religious. But here's the thing about religious people, is that they practice a personal relationship with the church. The spiritual, the truly spiritual, the people who are not fans but actually faithful, they practice a personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
Amen.
Those are the key differences between the faithful and the fans. And the fans got to go.
Yeah. You know, part of my problem I always had dealing with as a Catholic, the problem I always had dealing with Christians was, see, I was raised very old world, traditional Catholic. I wasn't allowed to watch the television or answer the phone on Sunday. Give you an idea. No radio either. And I wasn't allowed to go out and mow the lawn. No yard work. No. It's the day of rest. The only thing that we were allowed to do on Sunday in my family was, obviously, you could use a vehicle. You know, my father would always say, well, we're not Amish, but you know, we could use the light switches in the water. You know, it wasn't like that, but no luxury. You know, you could watch the television. He would put on the radio when we were having breakfast, but strictly for the news. You know, we could watch the news, that sort of thing. You know, he had a very big thing about that. My grandfather was even worse. My mother's father, the one from Ireland, you couldn't do anything. He had a problem if you would use the light switches on Sunday. So. Yeah, I come from that old world tradition. And so part of the problem I had with a lot of Christians when I was younger, Christians always, they refer to Jesus as Jesus. The way I was raised, you never use the word, you never use the name Jesus. You always refer to him as Christ. And whenever you use his name, you would do the sign of the cross. That's how I was raised like that. My father's sisters were all the senoras, the ones that dressed in all black with the big ass rosary beads. Those were my aunts when I was a kid.
Yeah. The bandoliers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And that's what I grew up around.
Oh,
and
get on your ass.
I can actually find this. There's a scene from the movie Moonstruck. I'm gonna find it and post it in the group thing so Terra can present it. But you can see the woman is dressed like the way my aunts used to dress. They would wear all black and carry these huge olive wood rosaries. So
the way Cher's mom dresses and carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Moonstruck. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It's real old school. The way, the attitude of the way the church that I was in as a boy, which is the Diocese of Brooklyn, was Christ died for your sins and you're going to pay for it. every day you have to be repentative. You have to be thankful for the fact that you are on this earth, that God put you here, and that you are in God's kingdom. And you better not forget that. That's basically the attitude that they had. And
I
it was
prefer
very
dogma.
That's practically fearmongering.
Mourn their religion instead of celebrating it.
That is actually, that was probably, well, you got to remember Kevin Smith is also a Catholic, so
Yep.
and he did nail that perfectly when he said we do mourn our faith. At least I don't know about how it is over by Burnside, but here on the coast, especially like in Jersey and New York, yeah, the Catholics are real old school. You got to realize something. Most of my congregation does not speak English. Most of my congregation speaks Italian, Spanish, Polish,
And
German, and well, yeah, the priests speak Latin. I'm talking about the flock itself. Most of the people I go to church with, they're all ESL. Like the Catholic, you got to realize Catholics have always been uh, people from all different parts of the world, and specifically all very ethnic enclaves. Because a lot of the Protestants, England happens to be very Protestant. Germany, that's obviously where the Reformation took place, is very Protestant there. So I hate saying this, a lot of WASPs, where the term comes from, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So we don't have a lot of those folks in my church. What we do have is, like I said, you got a lot of Greeks, you got a lot of Italians, Polish, a lot of Spanish, a lot of Portuguese. We get a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Hondurans, a lot of Guatemalans. There's a large Latin percentage. A large Hellenistic percentage, a lot of Turks, a lot of Albanians, Sicilians. That's what makes up the Catholic Church in New York, and that's part of the reason. Like I myself, I never really had much interaction with. I even said this to Diogenes. I divulged it to him when I was in D.C. I said, I'm not really used to being around white Christians. I said it's a little bit of a weird experience to me. Like me personally, I'm more at home being around like a really diverse ethnic enclave. Like it was a bit of a fish out of water experience, especially being in DC around that many folks. I mean, again, by me, not too many people with names like I don't know, Winthrop. Not too many people with names around here like I don't know too many Bills. I don't know too many Bobs. I don't know too many Eds. I know a lot of Oscars. I know a lot of Jesuses. I know a lot of Vincenzos. I have a lot of Polish friends, so I got friends with names like Cristobal, shit like that. But it's weird because I thought about it. There's not too many people that would fall into that category around here. So my experience with Christians was always through the television, really. I really had no experience with Christians other than Catholics or Greek Orthodoxians, what we had in this neighborhood, which is kind of weird. There's a Methodist church in my neighborhood, but
Burnside.
Nice.
Too much.
That's nice. I dig that.
Yeah, Scoob, where I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
there was a certain road that had a few Catholic churches, and on Sunday, you'd be walking down that road about maybe 2:30 in the afternoon, and there'd be just like groups of old Mexican ladies in black just walking down the road.
I myself was shocked when I found out you weren't Catholic. I just figured because of your heritage and where you were in the country.
I know it's yeah. I would say my area, well, my area of the state is 70% Catholic.
Here's the meme. No matter how poor you think you are, if you have a warm butthole, you have a way to make some money.
Oh, good lord.
Wow.
Wow.
That's something that I'm going to have trouble thinking about now. Thank you.
Yeah, because most of the Lutheran would probably be the second most prevalent. Then you have the Baptists and Methodists, and so to some degree the Episcopalians, and then you have smaller groups of Presbyterians and Unitarians, and a lot of the independent, non-denominational churches, and so on and so forth.
You know, I remember for a while I was going to, I was just stopping up there. They had no problem with me going there either. They were good folks. There was this big-ass black church up over in Amityville, and it was a Baptist church. I love going in there. They're hooping and hollering and leaping all around and having a ball. You know, especially like when you come from like a Catholic background. You know, I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever been in a Catholic church. It's basically guilt and calisthenics.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the best way I can describe it. But then I went into this church, I mean, and they're singing gospel, and they're having a ball, and the pastor's up there, and he's delivering the sermon, and everyone's listening. They're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, I mean, I probably was making people nervous because, you know, I'm wearing my Sunday best, and unfortunately, I do look like a hitman when I get dressed up. So they probably thought I was there looking to grease somebody. So
Burnside,
What?
your state's looking at being the laughing stock of the government.
What else is
New
Hey.
bill could allow SNAP benefits to be used for fast food in Illinois.
Oh.
Of course. Thank you, Pritzker, with you and your
Now-
fucking commie bullshit.
Mind you, I'm on food stamps because I'm fighting for disability and, well, I needs to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been definitely times where I'm just like, fuck. I'm hungry. I have food stamps, but I don't feel like cooking anything. I don't feel like waiting in line for a fucking sub because as long as it's cold, you can get it. A Burger King, or you have a hankering for a fucking Big Mac. And you can't get it because they don't accept food stamps.
Hey, I look at it this way. Like, I actually agree with Iron Mike Bloomberg when he came up with that thing where you can use your stamps for whatever you want, but we're going to cross-reference that when you try to go in for the medical. I have no problem with that. Like, this is the thing. If people want to go and get McDonald's, as long as it's like, oh, I don't know, once a month, you know, and the rest of the time they're eating healthy, that's no problem. But again, if they're going every day and getting McDonald's and they're going to cross-reference
my
it.
thing is I'd eat healthy if healthy food wasn't more expensive than McDonald's.
No, I agree with you. But that's the whole thing. They should actually put it in where they can tell what exactly you were purchasing, because I'd have no problem with somebody.
Tell what you're purchasing.
No, I mean, like, specifically, if you go into McDonald's and you're getting just the salads, because if they were going to do that thing, like what they wanted to do in my state, they wanted to cross-reference your food stamp purchases against your health purchases. And if you were eating nothing but Twinkies and Ho-Hos, they weren't going to let you go to the doctor and get heart medicine.
What they want you to do then is be responsible and hold on to the receipts.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I'd rather not do that because, let's face it, you know, not everyone on Earth is unfortunately smart enough to hold on to all of their receipts. And it would just be easier, you know, we wouldn't have to deal with court cases and everything, you know, where people are fighting to prove that they didn't do this or didn't do that, and the government's saying, no, we have proof. Just if they could just detail it, you know, make it more itemized so you can see what's being.
They're just too lazy to do it.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that would be a better system if they itemized it, because then I would have no problem with them instituting the plan that they had here in my state, which was
an app that I have on my phone that will tell me every single little thing I bought with my food stamps.
And that's what I'm getting at, is if they can cross-reference it and show that, you know, oh, okay, Terra she got McDonald's last week, but she also, when she went there, she got the salad, you know, she got a unsweetened iced tea, and she does eat healthy the rest of it. Okay, yeah, we'll cover her with the medical. But if they look at somebody else and they're like, oh, this person eats fried food for every meal, and all they do is fry their food and eat fried food, despite what their roommate tells them. So no, we're not helping them with their health. You know?
I love that part, despite what their roommate tells them.
Yeah, I figured you'd catch that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that the state should have to, you know, look, we're helping people out with the food stamps and we're helping people out with the medical. I don't think we should enable, though, by letting somebody sit there and destroy their health, and then when their health becomes bad, we also have to help them try to, like, fix it. I'd rather we can curtail the two. Like, one of the things I'd like to say is, if you're going to be using food stamps and you have the medical coverage, I'd like to make it where a requirement for you to get the food stamps is you got to see a nutritionist.
Well, unfortunately,
That would
here
be
in Florida, when you're on food stamps, does not qualify you to also get their medical. I have medical through Shan's physician care plan.
Right.
Is there any progressive stacked way of getting around that? Let's say they were able to tell your ethnic background. Say for me, for instance, I say a lot of Taco Bell and Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, you mean because of the way you eat?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they might be able to give certain people a pass, but I mean,
be able to tell what was that? 6 keeps going lower, higher.
Yeah,
lower,
is there any way to raise his volume?
I just did.
Oh wow.
I was saying, is there any way to tell somebody's ethnic background by their eating habits?
No,
by
not
using.
Really.
Okay.
There should be able to.
No,
well,
it depends on what you put down on your food stamp application.
Yeah, that and
it's
also
the only thing they can go off of.
To be fair, I mean, you're getting into racial stereotyping then. I mean, look at me and look at my ethnic mix. The first thing people are going to think is I'm going to be sitting there eating fish and pasta. I don't like either. I can't stand them, actually. I prefer barbecue, And on the other thing, because of my mother, they're going to be thinking I'm going to be eating ham and potatoes. I don't mind those, but maybe once in a blue moon. Again, I'm a barbecue kind of guy. I prefer barbecue food or like a really good chili. I like American food. So
I have to make my 3-pound chili for you when I come to visit.
Oh, you bet your ass. Just the deal is, the trick is you gotta leave the onion in whole and remove the onion afterwards. I cannot stand the texture of onion.
I actually use dehydrated onion for my chili.
Oh, even better. The trick is you could actually you can put it in like an empty, like, the minute rice bags. You can empty the minute rice out the bag and just reuse the bag and throw it in with the chili. That way it gets the onions out. I just hate onions. The texture, it skeeves me so bad.
Like I said, I use dehydrated onions, or for you, I could use
onion powder. Awesome. All onion powder it is.
Let me read my news article.
Sure.
Springfield, Illinois. Awesome. We finally know where the Simpsons are. There's a new bill working its way through the state house to allow people to use food stamps to buy fast food. Right now, you can only use that money to buy groceries at a store or farmer's market. Here, you have to catch it at the farmer's market when they'll let you use it. But weird. If this bill is signed into law, you could order a burger at the nearest fast food joint. House Bill 3343 would establish a restaurant meals program to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. I'm going to pause right here. Here in Florida, we already have something similar to that, but it's only for specific qualified people. Like when I was delivering pizzas for 5-Star, we had one guy that would pay with his food stamps. And that's cool. What it was is he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get out and go to the grocery store. Most stoves were higher than what he is trying to cook, in his wheelchair.
Yeah.
So this is how he ate every day. Let's see. If passed, recipients can use their monthly allotment to buy meals from restaurants. Only certain recipients qualify: elderly, disabled, homeless people, and their spouses. Okay, so they're going like what ours is. And here with the homeless, it's, again, only certain people who qualify. Somebody who's homeless, for example, they don't have a place to prepare that food. Here, they expect them to buy non-perishable foods, things like ramen, prepackaged, already cooked meats like tuna, chicken, Spam, things that they can literally throw together and eat. But if you've been homeless long enough, and have learned how to grill like I have, you can still prepare foods just fine.
You know, if you see a lot of these homeless guys when they go up to the shelter, not the shelter, excuse me, when they come up to DSS, because they got to report to DSS every day before they go back to the shelter. You'll see a lot of them. They go up there. They got these bags with them, and it's not just like their clothes that they got up in there. They got crock pots, and they got their plastic cutlery, a lot of them, and they got actually like their different utensils, because a lot of these shelters don't even let you use, like, they don't got community utensils. You got to bring your own shit with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
and a lot of them won't let you use the kitchens either. You either
Yeah.
eat what they serve or not at all.
yeah. Like, I talked to a lot of these guys. I seen the one guy, and he had all this shit with him, and he even told me, he's like, yeah, this right here, this is a tent. He's like, you know how often we go to this shelter? He's like, you can't get in. He's like, fuck it, I got myself a winterized tent. He's like, I got a winterized sleeping bag. You know how often I just eat and then go outside and sleep outside? Fuck it. All right, you got to do what you got to do, man. I ain't gonna fault you for it. He said it's safer for him anyway to sleep outside, even in a fucking snowstorm, because it's a tent made to go on the side of a mountain. Like, he even said, he's like, when I knew that, you know, that I was going to wind up homeless, he's like, the last thing I had when I had the bread, I got a really good tent and sleeping bag. I said, all right, I'm going to knock you. You know, those New York winters, this guy even told me, he's like, this thing is strong enough. He was asleep. He went to get out of the thing. He couldn't get out because the tent actually got buried in the snow. You know, I'm like, what did you do? He's like, fuck it. He's like, what do you think I did? He's like, I had to wait it out. I said, all right. He's like, eventually, you know, when after the snow stopped, he's like, and it got hard enough, I dug my way out and dug a hole and dug up out into, you know, up above the snow. I said, oh, what? How'd you get the tent out? He's like, I didn't. I just kept crawling back down like a rabbit hole back into the tent to go to sleep.
Damn. That's
said,
dedication.
That's hardcore.
Well, I kept saying to him, I
That's
said, you know, he's lucky that I said to him, you're lucky the tent didn't collapse. But what it was he dug the hole out. He had opened the flap at the bottom. So he dug up past, you know, the top of the tent. Basically, the snow was only as deep as the tent was high. It was just he opened the hole all the way down at the bottom. So he actually, like, had to dig to, you know, about 6 feet high, 7 feet, whatever height the tent was buried under, because it was a snow drift. So, all right. All right, I said, that probably had to look really weird, though, you know, to people walking past, where all of a sudden, you know, you pop your head out of the snow and then come climbing up out of the snow. He's
Well,
like,
you
yeah, a
know,
few people.
You should have told him to say it. The next time you do that, scream at the top of your lungs, I see my shadow, 6 more weeks of winter.
All right, so although Demmer supports the bill, he also has some concerns. The prices of foods at restaurants are higher than what it might be at the grocery store. No, motherfucker, it's the other way around. The prices of the food at the fast food restaurants is cheaper than what it is at the grocery store.
I'd say the one thing that might be a problem is all the crack babies in them, all the welfare mamas and shit like that are going to automatically try to use it. So that's the one thing I know it's going to happen, is they're going to try and sell it to the trolls, and they're going to go, yes, vote for communism, take your food stamps and love it.
Babe, it's going to happen anyway. Let's see here. There's a little bit of a trade-off there. So we want to make sure people aren't running out of benefits at the end of the month. Well, how about you split up the benefits to, you know, give some at the beginning of the month, give some at the middle of the month. That way, you know, because that's what I wish our state would do. I'd rather get it twice in 1 month and have it split up than have it once and I'm starving for half the month. And it's not because I didn't buy the right foods. It's because, let's say, it's because, like, you know, my roommate, I'll cook something, I have it sitting to the side for me. She won't pay attention and she'll throw it out. Her and I have had this discussion several times.
Eat her with a stick, then.
Well, by me, they split it into bi-weekly.
If the bill comes to law, restaurants will have to be certified to participate in the program. Now, the restaurants can also opt out of this.
Oh,
They're
they're not
already
gonna opt out of that.
participating
You
on the
kidding me?
grocery side of it. Hopefully, it's a relatively simple process to get certified on the restaurant side. California and Arizona already have similar programs set up where you can use SNAP benefits at Subway and Jack in the Box. Subway, here they do have one, but I'm not a fan of Subway. I used to work at Subway.
It's like that when you work at a place. Once you know its
Yeah.
ins and outs, you're like, yeah, fucking shit.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like me and Applebee's.
Yeah. McDonald's was that was my nightmare working there. Holy shit, those people are fascists.
Oh damn!
Oh God,
I just, oof.
I'm just not too
Maybe
fond.
you might
of
want to
this.
cover your ears for this one.
What happened?
I said you might want
Oh.
to cover your ears for this one.
Oh, that
Why?
Title is Mother of Faggot Infested Baby Sentenced to Life in Prison.
Say what?
Mother
you
of
say-
maggot infested baby sentenced to life in prison.
Good. That's a start. I'll get someone
How?
to shank the shit out of her.
How is this kid infested with maggots?
Chickasaw County, Iowa.
That explains it.
An Alta Vista woman convicted in the death of her son will spend the rest of her life in prison. 21-year-old Cheyenne Harris was sentenced to mandatory sentence of life in prison without parole Tuesday morning
Shit, she got LWOPed.
after being convicted of first-degree murder and child endangerment, leading to the death and starvation of her 4-month-old son, Sterling. Sterling was found infested with maggots in his baby swing inside his parents' Alta Vista apartment on August 30th, 2017. An autopsy revealed that Sterling died of malnutrition, dehydration, and an E. coli infection. Prosecutors say he was left in a maggot-infested diaper for up to 2 weeks leading up to his death. The boy's father, Zachary, was found guilty of the same charges in November and was also sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
I don't have any words.
I'll be surprised if they even fucking survive the night.
Yeah, seriously.
When
They
people
should.
find out they goddamn crying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They'll be
You know.
shanked in the shower before the.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
yes.
they're not gonna shank him. You don't know what they're gonna do to him. I know what they're gonna.
Oh, they're
They're gonna be singing the sodomy song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially the dude. The dude, he gonna get sodomized like a motherfucker. I don't know what they're gonna do to the female, but yeah,
Probably
the
the
dude.
female version of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The what?
They'll take a broomstick to it. Now, this is the thing, depending. If she's in there with any women who are barren, they might take her ovaries.
Whew.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I've heard of that before. Women who do shit like this, when they go inside, if there's somebody in there who has kids themselves, another woman, I've heard of women holding them down and they give them a fucking hysterectomy.
Oh.
Yeah,
brutal.
they'll take away they'll remove their womb. Like these, you gotta realize these are prison chicks. They're fucking tough.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
yeah, and to find out, like,
Yeah, what?
especially if you got one that's in there that's a mother that, you know, she's losing time from being with her kids and she's serving time, and this fucking sick bitch did this to their kid. Oh my god, I
Oh yeah.
if it wasn't for the fact of how evil these two were, you'd actually feel bad as a human being. You know what's coming for them.
Mhm.
How about an Alabama man and an Alabama woman story?
As long as it ain't nothing evil.
Well, it looks like Don Knotts rose from the dead.
Really.
Yeah.
That what the dude look like?
Here, I'll do a screen share. Screen share. Present to everyone.
Dang.
What the hell?
He looks like
Don-
Don Knotts.
Don
And
Knotts
that's
and
the
Leslie
male
Jones.
version of Rodney King.
Oh, I'd be damned.
Oh, these are the two that got into the brawl over crab legs.
Yes.
Oh, I heard about that. Bunch of blithering hits.
Wow.
There must have been some good ass crap.
That's what I'm saying. Where was they? At Joe's?
I mean, it says it's trending. It's one of the trending things. Even though it's from
Buffet.
Huntsville, Alabama.
This is why
That
I
is
prefer
ridiculous.
That's
Chicago.
where mine and my brother's daddy's sister lives. I refuse to call her my AUNT. Alabama police say a dispute over crab legs at a dinner buffet ended in a brawl that left 2 people facing misdemeanor charges. Huntsville police officer Gerald Johnson says he was eating at the Meteor Buffet restaurant when a fight broke out. Johnson tells the news organization that diners were using service tongs like fencing cords and plates were shattered, and a woman was beating a man. Johnson says diners have been waiting in line for crab legs for more than 10 minutes, and they lost their tempers once the food came out.
Are you telling me they were doing the salad tongs?
Is charged with assaulting John Chapman, who suffered a cut on his head. John Chapman is charged with disorderly conduct. The court records aren't available to show whether either person has a lawyer.
I can just see that too. Hold on, the plates is just ting ting ting.
I guess
A bunch of motherfucking hillbillies trying to fight tooth and nail with fucking utensils. Like, think of a guy trying to use salad tongs as like size.
I guess they're waiting for the boats to
Teenage
come
mutant
in.
inbred rednecks.
Oh my god.
Teenage inbred mutant hillbillies. I go get down, you go get away from my here crab leg. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him some bears. You gonna get hell away from my crab leg. I gotta put my foot in your ass, boy.
That's like my roommate in college. He was from Tallahassee.
Impersonation of people.
He was from Tallahassee and he was a Buddhist. That's how he talked.
It's usually how I hear, like, you know, your stereotypical hillbillies talk. Like, it's not you're gonna do something or you did something. It's either you gone do or you gone do done did. I had a.
I really gotta come visit you. I gotta see these people.
Sure, I'll take you under my dad. Yeah, they go and talk like that. They're either fixing to do something or they gone did something, or they gone did done did it. Or gone, done, did it. Or something.
Wow. That's
just
funny.
add do and done and did and do done did together, and it's like, yeah. It's just bound to be accurate.
Do done did is actually all one word.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right.
Tell me you can follow up that story with an even better one.
Cute little story.
What?
The puppy who didn't grow up to be a dog.
What did it
Getting
grow
a
up to
puppy
be a
is
cat?
very exciting. The puppy is going to grow up to be a dog that will love you and be your best friend, or so you think. Well, this woman got the surprise of her life when her puppy didn't turn into, well, a dog. Yay, a new puppy! A woman got super excited as she chose her very first Japanese Spitz puppy. She was so looking forward to raising her pup, all white and fluffy. This gorgeous pup stole her heart. It was love at first sight. Little did she know that her pup was actually going to turn into.
It's a fox.
Yep.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That creature she had brought into her house. Mrs. Wang lives in China. There's an abundance of Japanese Spitz, and they are a super popular breed. She was absolutely ready to be responsible for the life of her new pet. Feed it and take it for walks. Little did she know that the little ball of fluff would be so hard to please. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, she got it from Japan.
So fucking like that?
The breeder started with white German Spitz dogs and then slowly brought them to parts of China and Japan where they bred them with smaller and smaller dogs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's a really small dog.
Oh, here's
No,
another
she got, that's a type of fox that she got. I could tell by when I was looking at it.
trying to get.
Yeah,
So
my
she got a
sister-
fox. She got a fox instead of a Japanese Spitz.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very famous words to not live by in China.
So is there a pup
Right.
being raised by foxes?
No.
Oh.
Mrs. Wang was an avid animal lover and just wanted to take care of her little animal. She dreamt of the day when she would take him for afternoon walks and feed him when he got hungry. She just wanted him to be her little love and to care for him in the best way she could. In the beginning, he did what puppies normally do, took long naps. Mrs. Wang watched as her little angel grew, taking care of his needs. She purchased the puppy from an animal shop that she found when she went straight home. As the puppy grew, it became more and more beautiful. Mrs. Wang felt so happy to call this magnificent animal her own pet. After 3 months, though, things became a bit weird, and the puppy stopped looking like a Japanese Spitz. Yes, the fur was pure snowflake white, and its stature was all good, but things started not making sense. Something was off. I don't want to talk about the dog meat market.
Yeah, you don't want to know that. That's a real dark, fucked up communist alley. You don't want to go down. Trust.
All right, okay, so the white puppy was definitely a canine breed. That was for sure. But certain features just looked weird. Mrs. Wang explained that the dog's fur thickened once it turned 3 months old, but things started happening that couldn't be explained. Mrs. Wang said that the face became pointy and its nails grew way too long for that of a normal dog. At this point, Mrs. Wang was really considering asking an expert for advice. At this point, Mrs. Wang was very concerned about her dog's appearance. Sure, this could have just been a normal dog with abnormal features, but things happened which shocked Mrs. Wang. Of course, she wanted her puppy to socialize, but when other dogs approached her growing puppy, they started to become very scared. She now had to walk her young dog on a leash. Socialization is important for dogs, but her dog wasn't having any of it. Don't need to talk about the importance of socialization, blah, blah, blah.
Goddamn Chi-Coms. I'll socialize my foot up their ass.
Next. All Mrs. Wang wanted was for her dog to be normal. She didn't want to have the only dog on the block that other dogs were afraid of or to play with. Mrs. Wang imagined the life of her dog would have all alone with no one but her to play with. Hey, that's all Cody got. She knew that this was not the right way the dog should, I think it meant to say live. Dogs love being a part of a pack. They love being among one another. Not always.
There are exceptions.
The Japanese Spitz is a relative to the Pomeranian.
Another annoying little ball of hair.
Yeah, I fucking hate Pomeranians. Let's see. Many people. Mrs. Wang's dog had personality traits, but didn't look like a Spitz. Fluffy fur. Blah blah blah. Trying to get to where they talk about what breed of animal this ended up being.
That's what I'm saying, because there's a shit ton of beating around the damn bush.
Yeah.
It's one of these articles that are essentially ads.
Yeah. The minute Mrs. Wang took her dog to an expert at the zoo, the staff did not know what was going on. Mrs. Wang, in fact, had been carrying in her arms a very wild animal. But what was it? Well, it was white, and it was brought to the China, but the expert looked at it, and in truth, it was a domesticated fox.
You called the scoop.
Yep.
You guys ever watch Terra, the White Fox channel?
Nah.
Nope.
There's this guy in Florida that has a white fox that he has in his house, and that's his channel.
Okay, as long as they, I'm saying, as long as they like that that one vegan bitch who tried to veganize her damn fennec fox.
No,
That's
no.
insane.
There's a vegan that's in trouble recently. She was caught eating
Yeah,
fish.
that's what I'm talking about. I forget what her name is, Sonia something or whatever. Cause she tried
More
to.
than that, we're talking about it an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Go yeah.
You know, when I hear about them doing this shit, these leftists, when they like do shit to animals, when they try to push their doctrine on something that doesn't do that naturally,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you want to
Not a
seal
bunch.
them up in an oil drum and beat the fucking thing with a golf club.
Yeah, like Vegan Gaines when he tried to fucking turn his dog vegan and damn near killed it.
A wolf
Yeah.
over too.
Bastard.
Suspect in mob boss hit flashes pro-Trump slogans on hand during court hearing.
Oh, joy. They finally found their token Trump mobster. Oh, shit.
Jersey, the man
The
charged with
motherfucker was
the reputed boss of the Gambino crime family, wrote pro-Donald Trump slogans on his hand and flashed them to journalists before a court hearing on Monday.
yeah, giving them what they wanted, giving them a motherfucking excuse because they know the fucking journalists gonna roll with anything they can.
Anthony Camello, 24, was arrested Saturday in New Jersey in the death of Francisco Frankie Boy Cali last week in front of his Staten Island home. While waiting for court hearing in Toms River, New Jersey, in which he agreed to be extradited to New York, Camello held up his left hand. On it were scrawled pro-Trump slogans, including MAGA Forever, an abbreviation of Trump's slogan, Make America Great Again. Also read, United We Stand, MAGA, and Patriots in Charge. In the center of his palm, he had drawn a large circle. It was not immediately clear why he had done so. Camello's lawyer, Brian Neary, would not discuss the writing on his client's hand, nor would he say whether Camello intends to maintain his innocence. Asked by reporters after the hearing what was on Camello's hand, Neary replied, handcuffs. He referred all other questions to Camello's Manhattan lawyer, Robert.
Oh shit, he got Gottlieb as a attorney? Okay.
who said in an emailed statement his client has been placed in protective custody due to serious threats and that had been made against him, but gave no details of them. Ocean County officials could not immediately be reached after hours on Monday.
Oh, gosh.
I think this guy's actually a genius. Think about this.
Camello's family and friends simply could not believe what they had been told, Gottlieb said. There is something very wrong here, and we will get to the truth about what happened as quickly as possible. The statement did not address the writing on Camello's hand, and the lawyer from Gottlieb's firm declined to comment further on Monday evening. Most likely, Camello's lawyers looked at him and said, "What the fuck are you, stupid?"
And you know what he said? Look, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prove my innocence by appealing to the masses of the Patriots. Because you know, I could never, ever, as a very respectable, Make America Great Again patriot, horribly butcher that sorry son of a bitch that may or may not have owed me a lot of fucking money. As a proud member of the Gambino family, we are no longer criminals. We are sovereign
No.
American citizens.
He killed a member of the Gambino family.
You see what it is? It's my cousin. He was a bastard. Such a horrible, sad bastard. He voted and supported Hillary Rodham Clinton. When I tell you, this guy knew what the emails were. I tell you, he really knew what the emails were. And they want to say that because I thought he was a bastard, that I killed him. Oh, you see this here on my hands? I put MAGA forever because you locked me away. You're helping the Clintons. No, if you help the Clintons, you're not a good American. I can totally see what this guy was doing.
I don't really sound like that, do I?
No, you don't sound like that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Mello sat with a slight smile in the jury box of the courtroom Monday afternoon as dozens of reporters and photographers filed into the room. When they were in place, Camillo held up his left hand to display the writings as the click and whir of camera lenses flashed in the room with sound. During the hearing, Camillo did not speak other than to say, "Yes, sir," to the judge to respond to several procedural questions. Callie, 53, was shot to death last Wednesday by a gunman who may have crashed his truck into Callie's car to lure him outside. Callie was shot 10 times. Federal prosecutors referred to Callie's in court filings in 2014 as the underboss of the mafia's Gambino family, once one of the country's most powerful crime organizations. News accounts since 2015 said Callie had ascended to the top spot, though he was never charged with leading the gang. Only mob-related conviction came a decade ago, when he was sentenced to a 16-month stint in prison for extortion involving a failed attempt to build a NASCAR track on Staten Island.
I should have given him a permit. Are you kidding me?
It was released in 2009 and hasn't been in legal trouble since then. Police have not yet said whether they believe Callie's murder was a mob hit or whether he was killed for some other motive. The last mafia boss to be rubbed out in New York City was Gambino Don Big Paul Castellano, who was
Castellano,
who was
rest in
assassinated
peace.
in 1985.
I remember when Big Paulie got shot. That was a really sad day. You know, it was actually, I believe it was at Spark Steakhouse, and he was coming outside, and they blew him away. That's. I remember my father was so upset when they killed Big Paul. You know, that's when Johnny Boy, that's when John Gotti took over. He's the one that got rid of Big Paulie, and that's when all the trouble started. Yeah, sucks.
I can just comically see what this guy was doing. So that's why I'm just laughing hysterically at a lot of this.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I got to work in the morning, so I gotta jump out of here. But I'll see you guys at a later time. Y'all take it easy and have a good evening.
All right,
You too.
6.
Yeah, be good, sir.
Alrighty.
We'll see you around, man. I was only trying to make the best American NASCAR place I could possibly make. So, because I'm a proud Trump supporter and a member of the MAGA agenda, I was denied on several attempts a building permit. I truly, as a proud member of the Gambino family, wanted to follow our example, being legit and not criminal. But, because being a patriot is so criminal in this country, because of that bitch Hillary Rotten Clinton and that fucker Bill Clinton, I had to do it illegally. But Your Honor, I am totally an innocent man. What's so wrong about NASCAR? It isn't a tradition in America to drive like a fucking madman. I am innocent.
Making left
Think
turn.
Yeah, right. Think about this. That guy is younger than you. that hitman is only 24 years old.
That's funny.
Put it down.
Yeah.
Young buck out there, goddamn.
It's how we do out here, man. It really is. They start them off young. You know, like, you know, I got friends that when they started going down a path that was darkened that way, they started off mad young as teenagers and shit. A lot of these guys, you know, they're doing hard time. And I mean, there's a guy I went to school with. He's been locked up since I was in school with him. I think he's going to be making parole soon. Yeah, he's been locked up since I think '98.
Damn.
You know? Yeah. You know, I was talking to one time this guy, nice guy, young guy, good looking guy, polite as hell. And I was best friends with his niece. And I said, your uncle's a really nice guy. She's like, yeah, you'd never think that he just did 20 years for murder. He ripped out a guy's throat when he was 16. It's just, I don't know. I always said, I think it's something in the water. It makes people violent around here. You know? I mean,
well, there are a lot of strange things that happen when you put fluoride in the water. It doesn't just turn the frogs gay.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't want to think it's a cultural thing. You know, I mean, you go into Staten Island. I mean, they're all trying to kill each other right and left anyway. We don't do that out here. You know, I mean, what are they adding to their Sunday sauce that we're not adding? What's the secret ingredient that makes these people so bloodthirsty in Staten Island? Seriously. Yeah, I mean, I have matnad every Sunday. I mean, I don't sit there and want to shoot nobody. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You know, I mean, my aunt's up over in Brooklyn. She's over in Greenpoint. Same thing with her. I mean, she don't got no desire to shoot at nobody. I don't know what it is with Staten Island. Seriously, it's like the Wild West over there. That's where the Wu-Tang's from. Yo, funny thing, I don't know if you guys know this about Staten Island. It's a really weird place because check this out. You go down Staten Island and you'll be walking down the street. You see a skyscraper, and right next to the skyscraper will be a house. Just chilling. In between two skyscrapers, there's a house. Or there'll be a skyscraper in between two houses. It's a weird place. Like, it freaks people out when they go there.
Interesting.
Yeah. And another real thing real quick about Staten Island, and then I'll get off it. But if you ever really want to piss somebody off from Staten Island, like if you want to get somebody to like take a swing at you, that way you can punch them back, just refer to Staten Island as the capital of Jersey.
The capital of Jersey. I'll remember that. That's
oh yeah. But if you look at it on the map, Staten Island should be part of New Jersey. It's right next to Jersey. It's not near New York at all. We always say the same thing. Why the hell is this? You know, why do we got to pay our taxes for this shitball friggin' island? Seriously, do you know how many people who live here? They'll say, "Yeah, can you name the 5 boroughs?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." You got Brooklyn, you got Queens, you got Manhattan, you got the Bronx, and oh yeah, you got Nassau. Like, nah, man, it ain't Nassau, it's Staten Island. Nah, Staten Island's Jersey. Nah, man. NYPD up in here. Nassau is Long Island, man. Nah, I'm telling you, Nassau. What do you mean Staten Island? That's Jersey. Yeah. I've had that talk with many people. They convinced Staten Island is Jersey.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Me personally, I never actually enjoyed going to Staten Island. You know, it's just one of the boroughs. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Who goes to Staten Island for anything? Even people who live there don't go there for anything. Yeah, I mean, like in my mother's day, every borough was known for something. You know, if you wanted a really good tailored suit, you'd go to Brooklyn. If you wanted, I was going to say shoes, right?
Yeah.
Shoes. Where was the good haberdashers? Up in the Bronx, right?
Yeah, Bronx,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know, you go to different boroughs for different things. You know, if
you want to get stabbed, apparently you went to Jersey.
Oh no, that's around here. You want to get carjacked, you go to Jersey. Everyone knows that. Jersey, like Newark's the carjacking capital of the country.
I don't know. I'll have to see some numbers, man. I think last year we did pretty damn good with those carjackings.
No, I'm serious. New Jersey, it's a known fact. That's why that Spike Lee made that movie a few years, about probably 20 years ago now, Jersey Drive. New Jersey, back when that movie was made, the average was somebody got carjacked in New Jersey every 2.5 minutes. Specifically in Newark. Yeah, I didn't know why the hell people, you know, I'm sitting there saying to myself, Okay, I'm never going to drive through Newark. I hate driving through Newark, too. I get scared as shit driving through there just because, I'm afraid some asshole's going to come running up out an alley. Like, look, I'm the first one to tell you, if somebody said, oh, I'm not scared driving through Newark, well, you're a damn fool. That's, if you are in anything nicer than, like, a mail truck, you run a risk of getting your shit stolen in Newark. So, that's something you got to realize. I just avoid Jersey anyway. It's a smelly state. You gotta make left turns. No left turns.
All right. So the top 10 cities were with the highest rates of car theft.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle.
All right, we're gonna find out.
We're going from 10 down. Number 10, Seattle. It has an average. Let's see.
We're talking specifically carjackings, not just like a car's parked and somebody goes and breaks in and drives off with it.
10 places with the highest rates of car theft in the U.S. I put in carjacking, that didn't. They pulled up car theft.
All right, hell with it.
Number 9, San Jose, California. Number 8, Spokane, Washington. Number 7, Fresno, California. Number 6, Milwaukee.
Just the goddamn code beast jacket.
Number 5, Stockton, California.
Damn, a lot of California.
Number 4, Bakersfield, California.
Fuck.
Number 3, San Francisco, California.
What do you expect from a goddamn country where you can't fucking defend yourself?
Number
or a country, but state.
Modesto, California.
Damn it. Not Chicago.
And number 1, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Damn.
I knew I should have made that left turn. I always make that left turn at Albuquerque.
Yeah. Sad thing is, probably some of these younger people don't even get that joke.
I thankfully get it. I've seen it in these 2 comic books.
It's actually, it's Bugs Bunny.
Uh-huh.
That's where it comes from.
Apparently, according to something from 2018, Newark cops no longer chase every stolen car in New Jersey.
They can't. They'd be chasing cars all day. That's the whole thing. Like, I remember when I first started driving, I was terrified to go through Newark. I thank God I didn't have to go there for too much. Very rarely do I go into Jersey. It's a state I avoid.
Give up the car.
Smell. Have any of you ever been to New Jersey?
Nope.
No.
No.
The state actually smells. I'm not saying that trying to be an asshole. It literally smells. Their gross domestic product is landfills.
Oh, damn.
Ah! That's funny.
You drive through New Jersey and all you see are fields of PVC piping sticking up out the ground because they're landfills. Those are vents. Those are vents so that the landfills don't explode. So it's just a huge dump. Yeah, the whole state smells like a bus station men's room.
God. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was a jackass who went out there and plugged up the pipes.
Oh, I'm sure there's some sick bastard that does things like that. Like, you got to realize there are some times where the methane count gets so high on some of these pipes. Like, you'll see, like, I've seen smoke pouring out of them because there's a fire underground. There's a trash fire that's underneath. Like, sometimes, there are times, it hasn't happened in a long time as far as to my knowledge, but they'll have to close off part of the interstate because the trash fire underground got severe, and they got to bring in, like, a crew to, like, tame that shit.
What? Are you shitting me? Literal fucking trash fires? How mentally retarded are these people?
Well, you know what it is?
Completely rely on compost for their fucking electricity?
No. Well, I actually worked at a landfill. That's how I got injured. What it is, the way a landfill works, what they used to do, what they do now is we do energy reclamation. They actually burn the trash, and they actually they capture all of the carbon that gets emitted, and they use the carbon in like the manufacturing of carbon goods, like carbon fiber, and the resulting ash that's not usable, that's what gets put into the landfill now. And so the landfill in my neighborhood, it's really sick. We always refer to it as Dante's Inferno because it's surrounded on all sides by cemeteries. And
all right. So speaking of cemeteries, 60 beautiful abandoned places.
Oh, nice.
Nothing to see here, just an abandoned Tu-144 supersonic passenger jet in the backyard on the outskirts of Kazan City.
Damn. Probably nowhere near me. I'd always want to find places
like
that. It's Uzbekistan, if I'm not mistaken.
Why would someone park a Tu-144 supersonic passenger jet in their backyard? And better yet, why would they abandon it? It appears that someone was trying to hide it for some reason. It was first discovered by people just passing by. Then word got out and photographers began showing up taking pictures and video, some by way of drones. Some even took videos of actually starting it up and activating certain moving parts, so it actually still works, at least partially.
Oh, that would be neat.
It's amazing what some people keep in their backyard.
Yeah, you got this freaking jet.
Dude,
amazing view of autumn in Germany.
Wow.
Huh? Say what?
This is autumn in Germany.
Ooh.
That's a bridge, baby.
Fucking cool as hell, man.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like the River Rhine.
How can you tell?
How amazing. This 19th century bridge in Germany that makes a complete circle when the light hits and causes a reflection in the water below. See, you have the complete circle.
Yeah. I'm guessing it would be the Rhine because of how the Rhine figures into Germanic folklore.
I cannot tell. It does not say exactly where they are.
I think it's called the Elbe.
Good point. Good point. I was thinking of the Rhine because of the legend of the Rhinegold.
Well, the only reason I know of the Elbe is because there was a Sabbath song that's about a battle that took place at the Elbe, Hearts of Iron.
Yeah.
It's especially beautiful in the autumn, but it's still very picturesque any time of year. Imagine yourself riding a small boat or canoe with your sweetheart in this gorgeous place. What a beautiful painting this would make, or even a puzzle. Looks a lot like a Thomas Kincaid puzzle, but you would probably have to turn the puzzle in a 90-degree angle to complete it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm only the reason I said the Rhine. It reminds me. Wasn't there a lyric in Wagner? He did about Der Gotterdam Ring, which was based on the legend of the Rhinegold.
It might have been. I'm not as well versed in Wagner as I should.
Yeah, Thor's hammer fell during Ragnarok, and that's the source of the Rhinegold. It was actually a big piece of gold that was stuck up on top of a natural volcanic eruption in the middle of the Rhine River. Huh. Surprised you're not familiar with that one.
No, I did hear that one, actually.
Yeah.
All right. An abandoned store lies desolate in Fukushima.
Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's the radiation.
Look at all the ramen on the floor. Look at all the ramen on the floor.
Look at all the spider webs.
Yeah.
Yeah, our sister would freak the fuck out, wouldn't she? I'd be collecting them.
Dude,
a supermarket, many businesses and homes is left abandoned after one of the greatest catastrophes in Japanese history. On March 2011, an earthquake and tsunami hit the area, which caused the evacuation of more than 300,000 people. The earthquake damaged a nuclear power plant, which caused a radiation leak. bringing about the entire evacuation of Fukushima. Now Fukushima is nothing but a ghost town. The residents had to flee suddenly and leave their entire lives behind them, seeking what they thought was temporary shelter, but eventually, or evidently, starting over.
So it was due to radiation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the radiation there's
castle
pretty
in
bad.
Ireland, built in 1586.
Oh,
All
castles.
right, hold on before you get started on that. What you said about the radiation part?
Oh, me or her?
You.
Oh, I was saying that the radiation level there is still pretty bad. It's not as bad as Chernobyl, but you don't want to be walking around there for an entire day. You'll still probably get some minor radiation poisoning. But most of the environment out there, you don't want to tamper with it because it's still going to be relatively radioactive there because depending on who you ask, the reactor may still be leaking because the one thing that was going around for years and years was that due to the inability for the Japanese or the electric company in general to completely shut down the Fukushima reactor and stop the leaking, because allegedly, since they're haphazardly trying to, go between getting workers there and then getting people out of there and then doing this, that, and the other, basically until they could try and shut it down or close it off and all that, they're basically just dumping water or anything else cool onto it so that it would just rupture, because the damage from the earthquake just really took a toll on it. And then just one thing after another and after another, so it's semi-safe.
You just reminded me of something, Burnside. I never brought it up before because I just never remembered it. Did I ever tell you that my mother went into labor and gave birth to me during the fallout from 3 Mile Island?
Nice!
The
That's
fallout
awesome.
from what?
3 Mile Island, the nuclear power plant that went like supernova
It almost
up
went
over,
kablooey.
over in
where?
Connecticut. Yeah, well, this is the thing. We were in the fallout zone. It only happened about maybe less than 50 miles from where I was born.
Awesome. I will now refer to you as the
I didn't know there was a
atomic
part
New
that went
Yorker.
supernova.
Yeah, well, I'm saying supernova. I don't know what the hell. I melted down, nearly melted down. It was, I don't fucking know. Just the thing
Long
went
story
blue.
short, what happened with 3 Mile Island is, in actuality, all the safety measures worked as they should have. The only thing was, because the staff didn't know if they were working or not, they basically argued for too fucking long and then finally realized, okay, let's turn everything on so that we can give power to all the safety measures and shit. The only thing that really scared people was the fact that they started going into a meltdown stage and they didn't have any idea of what was doing what, because they initially expected nothing to work properly. Because, shit stops working, melts down. Oh, this light's going on and that one's not going on. Shit. So they literally spent a good portion of the day just debating over, what do we do? What do we do? What if this isn't? What if that's not working? Because no one really knew what the fuck was going on until
That's
suddenly.
bad.
Oh yeah, because literally, if they would have delayed not activating any of the systems any longer, then it would have actually gone off. But thankfully, they came to their better senses. Like, you know what? Let's just turn the power back on and see if the safety system works. And they did. The only thing is that after all that freon and stuff and all of the other cooling elements got to the core and stuff, it basically fused shit together, which is hysterical. But I mean, hey, people didn't die. That's the important part.
Yeah, that's actually what happened at the Shoreham plant. What happened out of 3 Mile Island is what part of the reason that they didn't want them to build the Shoreham plant out in Shoreham, out east from me, because they figured they were building this Shoreham plant, and it was the biggest nuclear plant that was ever to be built, or some shit like that. It was a monolith. This thing was supposed to power all of Suffolk County, all of Nassau County, all of Brooklyn, all of Queens. And it was supposed to even be able to feed power into Manhattan. This thing was supposed to support. They were claiming at one point it was going to support Long Island and the 5 boroughs. That's what they were banking on with this. Problem was, nuclear reactor that fucking big. You hit that thing with a conventional warhead, and you just basically nuked everything. Because they said it would. Yeah, so that's the reason they didn't let them. You know, like they're like, no, you're not putting the nuclear shit in there. You kidding me? All we got to do is get this thing hit with one fucking rocket, and it's gonna take out New York and Connecticut easily.
All right. Speaking of getting hit,
Yeah.
This castle is in Roscommon, Ireland. McDermott's Castle. I guess Dylan McDermott needs to go and claim his property.
Yeah, I think that castle's seen a couple.
Is on an island to the southeast corner of Low Key. There has been a castle on this island since the 12th century. In 1184, there was a fire caused by a lightning bolt where everyone in the place either drowned or burned, except for one person. Conconkbar McDermott and a small number of his people. Another castle was built, but in 1586, the McDermotts lost the island and the castle was abandoned. In 2014, the castle and the island were used in a show called Moonboy. I think it was also recently used in Into the Badlands, because there's a scene where they're looking, to me, it looked more like what Avalon would be, a castle on an island in the middle of a lake.
I don't know, but I think you just found a place I want to buy if I ever hit the lottery.
Yeah.
And that shit is called that Concata. Why does that sound like a spell? Concata Mac. Whatever. What did that say right there?
Oh, that's the guy's name. Concobar Mac Diamata.
Oh, I was about to say shit. That sounds like trying to put a spell on something. Shit.
No, that's their Irish names are wild.
Yeah.
My grandfather, his name was Timothy, but in Gaelic, his name was Tygeen.
Christ,
I'm sure it wasn't pronounced like it was spelled.
What'd you say?
I said I'm sure it wasn't pronounced like it was spelled.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Christ of the Abyss at San Frutoso, Italy.
Christ underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus wants a hug.
Leave my Lord and Savior alone.
This bronze statue is one of 3 that were sculpted and placed in the water, which represents Christ offering a benediction of peace, looking up toward heaven. This first statue was done in 1954 in Italy and was placed near the point where Dario Gonzalez, the first Italian to use scuba gear, died in 1947. Because of the large amount of corrosion and crustaceans, it was removed and restored in 2003. After restoration was complete, it was returned to the sea in July of 2004.
You know, I did say I always wanted to check out that, not that statue, but the big one that they got like that in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, Rio.
Christ the Redeemer.
Yeah.
Definitely.
When you say that, all I can think of is Fast and the Furious. Vin Diesel looking at the Rock going, "What? This is Brazil!" And everybody pulls out a fucking automatic weapon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eerie, beautiful cottage set amidst the gorgeous yellow forest in Stradbally, Ireland. Why do I get the feeling that if I were to live there, I'm going to be murdered there?
No, that looks like the backwoods.
No, seriously, that's the feeling I get, is that if I were to stay there overnight, I will die there.
What I feel? What I? I'm looking for a rainbow and a pot of gold right now. Shit.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Not in this house. No, fuck no. You will die there.
See, to my eyes, that looks like paradise on earth. It really does.
That's neat looking. It's a
I
nice
used to live in the country, but I'm like, yeesh.
I guess you know what it is being a city boy my entire life and hearing the family pine about, you know, the motherland. It's just, to me, it's beautiful. I just got that I guess romanticized picture of Ireland in my head.
Theme park in Japan.
Oh, they got a whole bunch of those, man. No, I don't think Fukushima had any. weird thing is in the 90s, their economy took a downturn. I don't know exactly the full story why, but before their economy hit the shitter, they're trying to amp up tourism, and they wanted to go and make a bunch of theme parks to incentivize families to go and spend more money. That and kind of have more domestic peace and shit like that.
This monstrous Ferris wheel was just one of the many rides that were inside the now abandoned theme park. Chunky Monkey, you might be able to pronounce this word.
Let me see. Which one?
This one right here.
Kenjo Numa.
Thank you. Leisure Land opened in 1979. At the time, there were over 200,000 visitors per year.
Kenjo Numa.
I don't care you pronounce it correctly as far as I'm fucking concerned. The park offered various forms of accommodations, campsites if you love camping, as well as small huts. If that was not your cup of tea, there was a hotel for the not-so-outdoorsy type. Although the park closed in 2000, the owner did not totally abandon the place. He went on to drill for hot water on the property because, well, hot springs are very, very popular in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan.
So nice. So basically,
like U.S. soldiers at the Chaltilian car graveyard in Belgium.
Hey, Terry, I got one question. You've been watching anime more longer than I have, and subbed. How the hell could you not pronounce it?
I'm guessing those are all the cars that the soldiers
to the language
bought.
than I do.
Yeah, I recognize more words when spoken, not when read.
Like I said, I can speak it. I don't mean I can read it.
Exactly.
Word thing name go with
Fucking ads, man.
Oh, I know, they're a total bitch.
Man. All right, so what's up with this car graveyard?
This is a little village in southern Belgium. The cars in this graveyard once belonged to U.S. soldiers. Soldiers would obtain the cars while in the country during World War II, but once the war was over and they returned to the U.S., it was too costly to have them all transported back with them. So the officers in charge decided to leave them in the country and park them all up at the top of a hill, which was hidden from view. It was left up to the individual soldier whether or not they wanted to have their cars shipped with them once they returned home at their own expense. Not one of them decided to retrieve the car.
So they just left the cars, or like, what the fuck did the Belgian people do? Did they not know how to drive? What? All they know how to do is make waffles? Like, Jesus.
Oh my God.
Cars right there.
Beautiful scene. Look at this.
Give me a picture. Let me see this. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that damn ass.
Oh, that's very metal. That's very fucking metal. We need a band on top of that roof just fucking playing like mega fucking death.
Is this Ash Wednesday?
See, I'm
incredibly
looking at it. The first thing I'm thinking of is it looks like a Wu-Tang video. Seriously, I'm waiting for Method Man to come walking out the door.
You know what this looks like?
All I can think of is fucking Silent Hill.
Yo, guess what I'm thinking of?
What's up?
Ash Wednesday.
That's.
I'm not reading all that because it's just a pretty picture.
Yeah. Well, actually, hold up.
Too late. I already went past. The Selma Abandoned Plantation Estate in Virginia.
Yeah, no
back
shit.
on the plantation, boy.
They based a movie on this.
Yeah, Selma.
Yes.
A ghost movie?
Yeah. Give me a
So
second.
this fucking place is haunted.
We got a runner.
Uh-oh.
All right, hold on. The last I saw it was on Netflix. The movie.
I wonder if you could buy this place. Yo, I wonder if I could buy this place and grow reefer to sell to New York and California now that they made it legit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Seriously.
A weed
Scooby's
plantation?
pot plantation. Yeah, I'll own a pot plantation. That's fine.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yo, I'll hire all legal immigrants, and I'll issue them all MAGA hats to wear while they're working out in the field. Can you imagine these SJs?
I don't know, man. Like I said, you got all them black African spirits there. they might not appreciate that.
I think they'd appreciate it as long as the land is being worked and everyone's being taken care of well. You know? Seriously, as long as no one's being exploited. But I'm just saying, can you imagine the SJWs? They would pitch a fucking... They'd go nuts if they were driving through this plantation and all of a sudden they see all these people in MAGA hats harvesting pot.
You know, that's a great idea. I love that idea.
Imagine if they were harvesting, I don't know, cotton, tobacco.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You know, be harvesting the pot and make it look like cotton. They'll really lose their shit out there.
Well,
me and my brother gonna pick a bale of cotton. Oh Lordy, sunshine.
The thing is, though, like tobacco is a very, it's a dirty crop because it takes so much soil and water to grow tobacco. It's really not a good crop to grow, and cotton is a pain in the ass to harvest. As somebody who has, I'd say about 25 years experience growing reefer, it's a really easy plant to grow. It's really, it's so much fun to grow too. You have a ball growing that shit because you grow enough of it, you know, because you got that smell of fresh reefer all around you, and oh yeah, it'll be a joy. Plus, that's the thing. Like I said, I'd hire a bunch of like legal migrants that came here legit. Most of them are Catholic, bro. I'd let them build their own church up on that property. If there's enough room, like yeah, rock on, man. You can have a church. Seriously,
a great idea. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. I remember from the movie Django, how they wound up getting the actual plantation cotton to work in the various scenes that they had. What they did is they basically got a whole bunch of like foam cotton balls and shit like that, and they grew bean plants. If you were to kind of do the same thing with the marijuana plants, give them all MAGA hats and give them a church, it would so piss these guys off.
Yeah,
it would really piss them off.
I'd let them have their own shit there. They could, that's the thing. It's a beautiful house. I'd love to live there. That's what I'm saying. Like the house I'm in now, yeah, it looks like it probably could be like that house's garage. That house is massive.
How does that big creep me out though, man? I can't have nothing that goddamn John.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't want nothing that big either. But like just for me, but I want to put like my family in there.
Oh yeah, you can do so much cool shit with a house like that. Lots of neat stuff.
Actually, it's worse than Amityville.
Yeah, that shit looks like mega Amityville or like George Washington's Amityville.
I've been up in the Amityville house. It ain't nothing.
I don't even want to step a toe near that place.
Well, my sister goes like this. She's like, "You want to go with me? I want to go look at houses." I look at her. I'm thinking to myself, "You got a fucking $3 million house on the beach. The fuck you want to go look at houses for?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I'll go with you, sis. We'll go look at houses." So we're up in this house and we're walking around and looking at it. And so she's saying to me, "You like this house?" And what's the fucking house? You know, this is the Amityville. This is the Amityville horror house. So I look at her. I go, "Why are we up in the Amityville horror house?" She goes, "Well, it's on the market." I go, "Oh, you want to buy it?" She goes, "I'm thinking about it." I go, "The fuck do you want to buy the Amityville horror house for?" I said, "You're going to have to deal with tourists. You're going to have people showing up here trying to take pictures and shit. You're going to have college kids out there doing all sorts of wild shit." I said, "You really want to deal with that?" And she did buy the house. And sure enough, somebody else moved in. And the next thing you know, there's like kids fornicating on their car or some shit. You know? That's bored teenagers. They do dumb shit. The thing we used to do was we would go and we would get completely shit-faced drunk, and we would go to Howard Stern's house and we would fuck with his security. That was the shit that we did when I was a teenager.
I bet Terra would be one of the ones at that house.
No, the fuck I won't.
You
No,
do
I
that
want
cemetery, but not in that house.
Oh, no.
Another thing that used to happen all the time, which was really funny, is in like certain parts of the neighborhood, like if you went up into Dix Hills, you would get pulled over if you were white, specifically because everyone who lives in that neighborhood is either signed up to Nervous Records or Def Jam. Like LL Cool J lives up there. Rihanna got a house up in there. So does Busta Rhymes, MC Lyte. They all live like in this little cul-de-sac. So like the cops will literally stop you like, what are you doing over here? It's funny when, yeah.
Y'all white people ain't getting no autographs today. Now turn around back to your white ass homes, your white ass suburbs, your white ass family.
Oh,
Y'all
those cops.
have yourself an extra Caucasian day now.
These cops are all. You got to realize the cops out here are all ex-Marines. We actually have a hire initiative to get the cops like come right off of active duty.
Offerings.
Say what? Burnt offerings?
This is that takes place at that house.
The pictures are based off of that house.
Okay.
Cool.
Off what?
That Selma house.
Yeah.
The one that the metal band belongs on top of, playing absolutely amazing.
Burnt offerings.
Like put Guara on there or some shit like
Images.
that.
First of all, this dude's fucking creepy.
Nice. I dig it.
I forget that actor's name.
All right. There's the house. It's the same house that we're looking at over here.
Yeah.
Right there. That's the same house. Now, in this movie, this family right here decides they're going to go on vacation, and they, go and stay in this house so that this old couple can, quote unquote, get away. Here's a better picture of the house. That's the exact same house.
I think I remember this movie.
The 1970s.
What movie was it? It was a horror movie where the cat comes in and the woman picks it up and she goes to say hello to it and the cat's face is all fucked up.
I have no. Only sounds to me like Pet Cemetery.
Like Pet Cemetery.
No. I mean, it wasn't. No, like the cat's face was really fucked up. Where she's screaming, and I'll never forget because the cat's face looked like bacon, like slices of bacon. It had no eyes, no nose, no mouth. It just had all these slits across its face.
Here's the husband in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember his name. That's his aunt.
He looks definitely terrified.
Yeah, he's terrified. Because this guy decides to walk in.
Nice. That might be my new profile. I like that.
No,
That's really cool.
No, I seriously like that. I'm gonna have to look that up and see if I can Photoshop the shit out of that.
Now, here's
that guy looks like he belongs in a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the Wikipedia. All right.
That's
the plot. The Rolfe family, who live in a cramped apartment in Queens, New York,
Of course.
takes a bargain price summer-long vacation at a large, shabby, remote, neoclassical 19th century mansion at the far eastern end of Norfolk of Suffolk County. The address is 17 Shore Road. The family consists of the housewife, Marion Karen Black, her teacher husband, Oliver Reed, and their 12-year-old son, Lee H. Montgomery. Ben's elderly Aunt Elizabeth, Betty Davis, who enjoys painting, joins them. The owners of the house are the Outeseed siblings, Arnold and Roz. There's also Walker, the caretaker. The elderly couple informed the Roths of a particularly odd rental requirement. Their elderly mother, who they claim is 85 but could pass for 60, will continue to live upstairs, and that they are to care for her. The old woman's obsessed with privacy, so only one person is allowed to bother her, and they dubbed that to be Catherine Black. So they start getting the house, looking better. They clean out the pool, which I'm going to go back to the image. They clean out the pool, which is actually closer to the house. They get it going. They get it cleaned out, and the father, Oliver Reed, finds these pair of glasses in the pool. And he ends up, for some reason, trying to drown his son. And it ends up traumatizing him to the point where he can't move. So the family starts taking care of him, and his son tries to impress him by swimming in the deep end, and the mother ends up diving in to save him. Although, mind you, she's gone into the upstairs where the old woman is supposed to live and has kind of fallen in love with the room. But you see all these pictures of people in the room. And the house looks like shit. I mean, complete and utter shit. Fast forward, the old woman, the aunt dies. And there's weird shit going on. So the dad tries to take the son and leave. Well, the property won't let him. Trees fall during a storm. So he drives back up to the house with the wife. And, everything's going okay until something else happens. I think the kid almost nearly dies again. So the mother's like, okay, we have to leave. We have to leave. So she's like, oh, well, I have to let, the old woman know we're going to leave. So she goes up there, and I guess the time is supposed to be like 10 minutes. And so the husband goes up there, and he's like, honey, we got to go. We got to go now. And there's this old woman sitting in a chair that's looking out the window. And she turns around, and it's the wife dressed like the old woman. And
wait, what?
Yeah, the house possessed the wife.
Gotta go.
Damn.
And ends up throwing the husband out of the window.
Damn.
He lands on the car. Now, earlier in the movie, one of the things that was really creepy to the father was the fact when his aunt died, the shingles on the house fell off and new ones appeared.
Ooh.
So the boy runs out of the car because he was sitting in the car waiting for his dad and his mom. The boy runs out of his car, and I think it's these fire chimneys fall on him because they have enough deaths that they are replacing themselves.
Say what?
Yeah, the chimneys fall on the boy, killing him.
Damn.
The house is completely renewed with having taken the lives of the people that live there. And when you can hear the Alisades, when they came back, they're like, oh, it's back to the way it was when, mother was alive and blah, blah, blah. And up in the room are pictures of Karen Black, Oliver Reed, and Lee Montgomery.
Mm.
Faces of the people the house took the lives of.
Brutal.
So to renew itself, it had to kill someone?
Yes. It had to kill more than one person.
I've actually heard of things like this before in folklore.
This is why, no, I will not go there.
Well, I'm saying that, it sounded like to renew one thing, it had to kill someone for it.
Right. It's almost like, think of Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
The original owners met with untimely deaths. So proceeded to pass through several new owners. At one time, a fire destroyed the original home, but a new owner restored it and brought it back to life. Eventually, though, it was
How many did he kill for it?
And became dilapidated as nature took over, such as broken floors and mold growing on the walls, even birds flying through the home. Not only was the home abandoned, but left behind inside was the abandoned home grand piano. New update, though, that a new owner began restoration in 2016. It would be interesting to see the progress of that restoration.
They're probably going to show you Roosevelt Island over here by me next. That's where they filmed
that on a lake in Germany.
Oh wow!
Say what? A who?
It's a fishing hut.
Oh, neat.
Probably built when the lake was probably lower when it was built.
Most likely. That explains why it's like sitting there in the middle of the river.
It was built in the water.
Oh.
Unfortunately, when it was discovered, it was found completely empty. No information has been found to determine the owners. It was most likely once a very active place for fishermen to fish, surrounded by breathtaking scenery of these German Alps.
Alps are
good.
Abandoned yellow house in Nova Scotia.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Dude, when I see this house,
I want it.
You can want it all you want, my love. But guess what? We're not moving there because all I can think of is another fucking Kathy Bates movie where she murders her husband.
Ah, Kathy Bates. I'm gonna hook some thermonuclear badassery to that thing.
I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. It was not Misery. Scooby, help me. Kathy Bates, she was protecting her daughter because her husband was molesting her daughter.
I don't remember.
Killing her husband. Oh, son of a bitch.
Does anyone remember the episode of Futurama in which they made an asteroid an independent planet and then they had to give it back to Earth for stupid reasons or something like that? I'm pretty sure it was Futurama if I remember correctly, because I think it was like Bender and Fry got stranded on a rogue asteroid or something, and then they made it like an independent planet from Earth and that, and just Zap Brannigan showed up right around the same time. Like, nope, you're not fucking doing that.
All right, let's see if I can find which movie. It was called Dolores Claiborne.
Dolores Claiborne.
Yeah.
And she has a house very similar to this.
Yeah. That it might even be the same house.
No, they lived in a fishmonger shack. But it was similar. This looks like something you would see out of The Birds from Alfred Hitchcock's. A VW bug as part of an underwater museum in Cancun, Mexico. Okay, why is there a person on it?
More importantly, how the hell did they get that down there? Those things float.
Cement.
That would make sense.
Life-size
it's a
replica
sculpture.
of classic Volkswagen Beetle.
Maybe that's the weight.
Yeah. And that's actually when I was a kid. I wanted a Volkswagen Beetle just because they floated, because of all the bridges we have here.
Abandoned space shuttle at the Bangkok.
Oh, that's the Russian knockoff.
Huh.
I think there's two of those.
Ugly fucker, ain't it?
Was that Baikonur?
Oh, absolutely.
The site was secret site built by Russia in the area of Kazakhstan, unknown to the West. And it was launched in 1961. Flew once in November of 88. The goal was to send 30 tons to space and return 20 tons back to Earth.
Vegas. When the USSR fell, that thing got iced.
A storm approaches an old abandoned farm home with a curiously manicured lawn in Ontario.
That must be where Irv filmed from.
Nope.
That's where Irv films from. You can see the Kekistani flag in the background.
No, seriously, I get bad vibes from this house. Nope, and nope.
Oh, come on, it looks so peaceful. Let's get sleeping bags. We'll go camp out tonight.
Nope, and nope.
Oh, come on, it'll be great. We can pass around the flashlight and tell ghost stories.
No.
Well, on that note, I do actually got to call tonight, guys, because it's 12:30. I got to go up in the morning. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right.
All right. Nice.
Yep. Good night, guys.
Yeah, well, we ran up on 11:30.
Russian shipwreck in the Red Sea.
Yeah, I said it makes good. You know, like what do they do when they take like ships like that and they use it for like what? Reefs for the fish?
Yeah, they use it for new reefs.
Something
The
like
last
that.
house on Holland Island, USA. The island is sinking. This is the last house left.
The house barely stand.
Sure, let's totally
Is the
get that
island
one.
called Atlantis?
It's called Holland Island.
Yeah, I say shit, birds right there. Hell, shit, mine.
Mine.
They claim the house.
In 1910, Holland Island was thriving with 360 residents and was considered the most populated island in Chesapeake Bay. Besides homes like this Victorian home, there were many other homes, shops, and schools, a church. But this island had a problem: erosion. Erosion gradually ate away at the island, which greatly concerned its residents. In 1914, they had stones shipped to try and build walls and even sink ships to slow it down, but nothing worked. Most of the residents tore down their homes and moved inland. In 1918, a tropical storm hit and damaged the church. By 1922, the few that had stayed finally left after the church closed down. One man in 1995 tried for 15 years to preserve the island, spending a fortune, all to no avail. This house was the last house to go.
Well, he tried.
Yeah, I said no.
Abandoned house in the Bulgarian industrialist Pencho Smog.
That shit looks like rose red.
Don't say that.
So who?
I actually like this house. I don't get a creepy feeling from this house.
Hey, but the yellow little shack, you like nope.
Yellow little shack. No.
This shit looks like Hotel Transylvania.
Hotel Transylvania. Oh, you're about right. I mean, it looks like
a little yellow small shack. Come on.
I
like that old place. That looks pretty nice.
All right, 2 years before his death, the Bulgarian Rockefeller made it out in his will stating that he wanted his mansion to become a retirement home, and 2 other buildings he had to be girls' boarding schools, and one of them was for poor girls free of charge, and the other was for wealthy girls with small taxes to be charged, which guaranteed paid for the poor girls. Unfortunately, when he passed away in 1945, his wishes were not carried out. All of the resources for his charity purposes were blocked by the government, and the mansion was used for an infectious tuberculosis ward.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Damn. That's way fucked up. Tuberculosis.
Oh yeah, guaranteed you can't go near there because tuberculosis.
Oh, hell. I'm saying that
it
tuberculosis is flying everywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a cool idea. Found out about the TV. That shit's
the oldest British warship to have been found in Great Lakes, Ontario.
nice.
Is that a statue or is that somebody?
That's a diver.
That's a diver.
Down there with him, but he does look like he's covered in barnacles too, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really neat.
It sank in 1780, makes it the oldest British warship to have been found in the Great Lakes. It's between Niagara and Rochester, New York. Mostly intact. Sank due to a storm. Where about 130 men lost their lives.
Don't tell me they're still in that ship.
It only took them 3 years to find the ship.
Gosh.
Abandoned railroad bridge in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's neat looking as fuck. They need that for Metro. That 100% looks like something that belongs in Metro. I'm really hoping the new Metro game is gonna be. Did I tell you? This last Fallout game?
Lightning over an abandoned home in Nebraska.
Oh,
that looks
I
nice.
want it. That is real neat looking.
That house is another nope.
Come on, what the fuck, woman? God damn it.
Baby, didn't I tell you I could tell things even in pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, then leave it at that.
Hearsay none such.
You don't
My
like,
foot,
you don't like those houses right there,
graveyard.
But you want the tuberculosis ward. But
he is lost for words. You're killing him, man.
That's because most of the people in the tuberculosis ward aren't pissed off.
How can you not be pissed off when you die from tuberculosis? That's a shitty way to die.
At least motorcycle graveyard.
Fucking coughing too much on your own lungs. But this is a police motorcycle graveyard. Have your pick, baby.
So they all go to rest in peace.
That's just sad to see that many bikes in disuse.
Abandoned hotel in Colombia when the Bogota River became contaminated with industrial waste.
I got a gas mask. I'll live.
I've seen a movie about this place too. Son of a bitch. This one had a demon child living in it.
Let me know if you find anything about Ukraine yet. Because, I mean, if there's still property available in the exclusion zone while that civil war is still going on, I might be thinking about that. Because, I mean, you can still get to Pripyat, but, you know, you're gonna want to worry about the wildlife.
Yeah, we're definitely not living there, baby, because this place is supposed to be haunted because people go there to commit suicide.
Oh, damn.
Great. So we're going to have to, like, super smudge the place, and I'm going to have to give everyone the supernatural my foot their ass thing.
Damn, you got Suicide House now, along with Suicide Forest?
Joy.
Actually, it's more like Suicide Cliff. Beautiful picture of old Helensburgh Railway Tunnel, Australia.
Oh, damn. I was looking at the waterfall, like, I was like, that's beautiful until that.
Hell.
Yeah, go up inside there.
Sure, I will. I'll bring a shotgun.
When it's dark, you can see the glowworms light the place up.
Yeah, they can glow all They can go all they want. Shit, you ain't gonna find me up in there. You see how really fast I can get the fuck out of there too. And don't be in my way, cause I'm gonna run your ass over.
Michigan Central Station in Detroit. It replaced the original depot in downtown Detroit, which was shuttered after a major fire in December 1913, forcing the still unfurnished station into early service.
Wait, that's still around? I thought they dilapidated it. Oh, never mind. Screw all those other places. I know what I'm getting. I am totally going for that.
In 1988, it was closed completely, and since that time, many discussions have transpired between the owners and city officials to try and make a decision as to how to best utilize the building. After making some renovations by the owners, eventually Ford Motor Company took ownership in 2018 with big plans of using the building, which includes its autonomous vehicle department.
Shit. Ford, use it. If only. Fucking kidding. Shit, if that's in the hands of the UAW,
And
that
in
place
World War
is
II,
good
it
and
was
done.
used mostly by military troops.
Oh yeah, that'd be decent for training. Big as fuck.
An abandoned beagle in Laguna Beach, Miltron, South Africa.
No thanks. Oh, abandoned beaches are easy to come by.
Looks like those bugs are a popular card to leave behind.
Oh yeah. Shit, South Africa? If it ain't the wildlife that's gonna kill you, it's those actual chimpanzees with AK-47s from the dead gorillas. Nobody laughed. I'm assuming you guys didn't see that video
No.
where the soldiers are sitting there and the monkey picks up the AK and starts shooting.
A quaint little abandoned Victorian home in San Francisco.
Oh, that's way too damn small. Screw that. And it's nice looking, but it's fucking.
It's perfect for just you and me, baby.
Hell no, that is tiny as fuck. Scoop might want to live in something that damn small. Me, oh fuck no.
The stunning wreck of USS America, who snapped her tow line in the Atlantic storm and ran aground off the Canary Islands.
Now that might need some freedom. I like that. Well, I'm not sure how good it'd be as far as being it now.
A partially sunken ship in the Roatan, Honduras. Or Roatan, Honduras.
Hondurans can keep it.
An abandoned mining town on Silver Inlet, Lake Superior, Ontario, Canada, circa 1911.
That's not too bad looking.
Guaranteed it's not there anymore. Or if it is, it's not as full as it once was. Lucy the Elephant Hotel in New Jersey.
Oh, that's neat. It's in Jersey, though, so I don't know about that.
It was originally called the Elephant Bazaar. Had a winding stairs that led up to the Hadwa, the seat where you would ride the elephant. Lucy endured many disasters, including a fire during a period of time when the building was used as a tavern. During one of these disasters, Lucy's Hadwa got blown off. By the 1960s, it had been so neglected that the city condemned it. When a new developer wanted to have Lucy removed, a committee formed to save and restore her. Now she is back in operation, fully restored. I Am Cooling Tower, old power station in Belgium.
Say what? You lagged massively there.
Oh.
What about a who and a holy?
Going
I
Am I
am
looking at?
Cooling Tower, old power station in Belgium.
Oh, cooling tower. That's interesting.
Someone roll a coin down there.
I don't know if it would roll like those things we see in the mall.
But you got the joke.
Trust me, if that was used as a nuclear cooling tower, you don't want to go anywhere near that fucking thing. It's probably still radioactive.
And just so you know, I'm lagging because of all these fucking ads. Abandoned Gentzode in Germany. We can live here, baby.
That's nice.
I don't know. It's in Germany.
I'll kill them. Goddamn commie sons of bitches. They want a Lahu rape bar or a Lahu shank and shoot the shit out of a bar. I'm an American. I don't care about the hurt their federally enforced EVs.
Surrounding the castle and landscapes is the family mausoleum.
Cool.
It even fell into the hands of Nazis.
Of course it did. That's how they sell the place. Give it a little bit of history.
Alcyon Hall, Bennett College, Millbrook, New York, was originally built as a luxury hotel in 1890, but closed in 1901. Son of a bitch, I've seen a movie about this too.
You've seen a lot of ghost movies.
No.
I've seen a lot of what?
Ghost movies.
Oh yeah, I fucking love ghost movies. Only with this one, it was a house. Not a hotel.
All right.
Built in 1890, the hall was started as a luxury hotel for wealthy, and 5 stories and 200 rooms. Unfortunately, the hotel did not do as well as planned, so in 1901 it closed down. After a few years, 1907, a school teacher from New York moved her schoolgirls there, and more buildings were added, which eventually led to it becoming a junior college. By the 1970s, it began sinking into debt as more co-ed colleges were popping up, eventually going bankrupt in 1977 and thus abandoned. Despite being placed on the National Register for Historic Places, it was demolished in 2014.
That's a pity.
It really is. Because I don't feel anything bad coming from that. An amazing ice castle called the Swallow's Nest Castle in the Ukraine.
Now that's a nice place.
Oh, frozen.
Fuck though. Yeah, but it's in Ukraine. They got that civil war going on. You could probably take it.
Kind of reminds you of the ice castle from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It was built on top of a cliff. It would be just a little scary to be in it, even though it looks secure enough. If it happened to fall, it would fall hard. A wealthy oil merchant built it in 1911. Prior to that, there was a wooden cottage there called the Castle of Love that was built in 1895. Sunken boats on purpose in Morton Island in order to create a safe harbor for smaller boats in Queensland, Australia.
Interesting. I like that Ukrainian place, though. That
Inside an
promising.
abandoned castle in Italy.
Ooh, nice.
It's more than abandoned.
Reminds me of the game The Last of Us. Abandoned dome houses in southwest Florida.
Oh, interesting. Might be something you could take then.
Well, what it is they thought that they could survive the erosion in the waters. I didn't turn you on. Go away. And yeah, that didn't work out so well. Interesting way to live in a circular home. They were built in the 80s by Bob Lee, a retired oil producer in Cape Ramona, which is located near near Naples, Florida. They were actually very beautiful when they were first built, but before the hurricanes wreaked havoc on them. There used to be windows with a beautiful circular view of the beach. There was an added benefit to them that they were solar powered and self-sustaining. In 2005, they were sold to John Tosto right before Hurricane Wilma came and caused considerable damage, not only to the domes, but also washing away part of the coastline. Now the sea has completely taken them over and can only be reached by boat. So people didn't take into account fucking hurricanes.
So that one's off the market then, huh?
Yeah, don't build your... Okay, anyone ever heard of the Hermit in the Sea?
No.
Okay, essentially with the story of the old man in the sea, if you build your house on the water or on the sand, expect it to be washed away. The sea is going to take what it wants. So if you don't want to lose your home, don't build it on the fucking beach. Abandoned home surrounded by wheat fields in Oregon. Oh, that's not creepy at fucking all.
I like it.
I'm sure there's
Just sucks there's nothing nearby.
there.
If there's more than wheat there, I mean, more appetizing. Just wheat? It's only semi.
Dude, they could totally do a live action Courage the Cowardly Dog here.
Oh, absolutely. Part of the charm, man. Looks straight out of Courage the Cowardly.
Has Pat fallen asleep on us?
I'm here.
All right, you just haven't been saying anything. Love finds a church in Iceland.
Cool. That's neat looking as hell. I love the color. Black and white like that. That's nice. So much the lag is.
Yeah, so much the lag is.
Mm-hmm.
The remains of an abandoned Six Flags in New Orleans, USA, hit by Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, no way. I thought they took that thing back. Didn't? They just left it there?
They had to. Too much damage to repair.
Oh.
Total
Salt water, baby. Salt water.
And what? Too much money to demolish?
Yeah.
Alright, well, shit, boys. I guess we found out a new spot for our hangout. Let's go to
Baby,
New Orleans.
we just found the Joker's hideout.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Let's go fucking stream from there, man. Fuck yeah.
Huh.
That's fucking awesome. I mean, think about it. You've got an abandoned theme park. Dude, that's fucking awesome as hell.
Baby, there's an abandoned Wizard of Oz theme park in America.
What?
Where?
I gotta look it up. It might be in this list, but they let you go in once a year.
Oh, why only once a year? What? Do people violently fornicate in there or something?
Yeah, people are constantly jumping the fences. I was listening to some stories where Discovery Island years ago, when it was first done, where, you know, they would take you out there and you could see all the animals before they created Animal Kingdom for Disney. That people are, you know, urban explorers are constantly like going over there, and you know, Disney, they have eyes everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
And some people don't ever come back because apparently there's either critters over there that will eat you, or Disney's people get you.
Mm-hmm.
Weird shit like that happens.
Former treatment house from Romania was built between 1911 and 1912 by architect Ernest Donud and was used starting in 1914.
Nice. Not too bad. Snazzy, though.
19 rooms, never completed because of war.
Such a pity.
Abandoned roller coaster in Japan. Nara Dreamland, Japan.
Nice.
Nice. Been overgrown.
Well, Chocolate Kiss, it is abandoned.
These are savings worth celebrating.
Shut the fuck
Right
up.
now, test drive any new Hyundai.
Hyundai,
Talking to the ad.
Like I said, damn, you mentioned something about Japan. They talk about
Nara
Hyundai.
Dreamland was a copy of the original Disneyland, except due to money issues, they did not use the same characters, but instead used less interesting characters.
Huh?
Atkins Hall Apartments, Cork, Ireland. The apartments, half of which remained abandoned, were once St. Anne's Asylum.
Nice.
And I have seen a movie of this too. Actually, it's a very short TV series. I like it.
I think I've heard. That's a nice looking place, though. Not gonna lie.
I like it, but I wouldn't live there. No, I don't deal with places that were once insane asylums.
I like places
Huge
like that.
man-made hole spills diamonds for decades.
Say what?
Huge man-made hole spills diamonds for decades.
Oh shit! Hey Pat, I think I know how we're gonna get arrested.
Here's Diamond Mine is one of the incredible treasures located in the city of Miniri, eastern Siberia, Russia. Diamonds were spilling out of this hole from 1957 to 2001.
How do they spill out of a hole?
That's what I'm saying.
Don't ask me. It's the spelling. And finally closed down in 2011.
It means
One of
spitting
the
out?
world's largest man-made holes, this massive treasure chest is referred to as the navel of the earth. What is most mind-blowing about this place, referred to as an open pit, is how a place that looks deserted and ugly to the naked eye could produce a number of diamonds that would make any miner rich beyond their wildest dreams.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. So is it still spitting out diamonds?
Are living spaces, and over here, they lived right next to the hole.
okay. So basically, they dug into this thing and they're able to get diamonds.
Yeah. An abandoned railroad track in a forest.
Yeah, I can see why.
That's in Taiwan. No, Chunky Monkey, you're not allowed to go. An old farmhouse in Switzerland.
Dang, it's a Swiss out.
I'm okay with this one, baby. I don't get creepy vibes. Puddin'?
Yeah, where'd he go?
I don't know. Is he muted?
Yeah.
Ah, fucker stepped away from the computer. Submerged U.S. World War II Lockheed P-38 lightning discovered in Wales after 65 years under the sand.
Mm.
So, baby brother, is this a plane we're looking at?
Yeah, World War II fighter. It's the one with the twin tails.
I don't. You're talking to someone that doesn't know shit about planes.
I'm gonna look it up for you.
No, don't go looking it up. I don't care. I just wanted to know if it was a plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine a day at the beach with your family, having fun, and you notice something in the sand. You find out that it's a warplane that's been buried for 65 years. Abandoned Soviet hydrofoil rusting away in the autumn forest near the Kama Reservoir. I'm guessing it's a type of train.
No, it's a sea craft.
Okay,
no, it's not technically a boat.
Mm.
It's got a boat. It's basically a boat with wings on the bottom. So when it gets to the speed, it's basically sailing on those wings with the rest of the boat above the water.
Gotcha. Abandoned theater in Northwich State Hospital in Connecticut. First opened in 1904 with only 95 participants. It grew to over 1,000 by 1915. By 1955, had 3,186 patients. Numerous buildings that were connected by underground tunnels. It was very unhappy and a frightening place, treating the criminally insane. Yep, not staying there either.
There's a net house.
Fuck that. London readers continued to browse a bombed-out library in World War II.
Yeah, it's like what's left. Oh, but the library is still intact.
And they're still using it. What's protecting the books from the rain?
Are these looters or browsers? It was during the 1940s bombings of World War II that this privately owned library, Holland House, in Kingston, London, was hit by German bombs and almost totally demolished, except for several of the bookcases still loaded down with books. These men were curiously looking for valuable books to possibly resell one day. Or did they just have an insatiable desire to read? The Holland House Library was left in dilapidated state of neglect until 1952, when part of it was preserved. A St. Joseph Rose and Lightning House on Lake Michigan looks more like a Disney castle. There's your frozen castle.
Let it go. God, dog. I mean,
The lighthouse was completely iced over when the temperature dropped down to negative 34 degrees Celsius. The Great Lakes Drone Company flew out and took pictures of this iced cap. The doomed Serendipity House.
I don't know. Structure looks a little fragile.
Actually, it's quite sturdy. The romantic movie Nights in Rodan is a movie featuring Richard Gere that was shot from this very house in North Carolina. It was originally built in the 1980s and at the time had plenty of beach area between the house and the beach. In fact, 400 feet of it. Over the years, storms, hurricanes, and erosion wreaked havoc on the beach. And eventually the house was literally sitting in the water. After the movie was made in 2008, the house was condemned by the city, but a couple that loved the movie tremendously wanted to purchase it and try to save it. They successfully bought it and had it moved over a short distance, renovated it, and is now using it as a romantic vacation rental.
Well, it's not abandoned. If they renovate and people are still and they're using it as a vacation rental, why is it on the abandoned list?
I can't say it. It's the railroad track in Australia. Check that out.
Oh, damn.
A what?
The railroad track in Australia.
Yeah.
What the hell was trucking on that thing?
A train? Choo-choo? Abandoned cottage in Carryway, walking path between Sneem and Kenmare, Ireland.
Damn. Ain't just abandoned here shit. It's been overrun. Yeah, the vegetation lives there now.
Mm-hmm. The remains of the Pegasus in McMurdo Sound, Antarctica.
Mm.
In 1970, the C-121 Lockheed aircraft crashed. It was horrible weather that day, but luckily none of the 80 passengers were injured. Because the weather changes so much in the area, planes flying from New Zealand to McMurdo have to make mid-air decisions on whether or not they have enough fuel to turn around, go back to New Zealand if they cannot land at McMurdo. On this particular day, the weather was terrible, but the plane had already passed the point of safe return, so they had no choice but to attempt to land. Now this area is named Pegasus after the plane. Barnes Hospital, also known as Manchester Convalescent Home, in Manchester, England. The building, completed in 1875, is a noted example of Victorian Gothic revival. That's good, don't it? Why do I think it's an insane asylum?
Is it?
Let's see. This Manchester Convalescent Home. Convalescent home usually means invalid. And depending on the year, invalid could also mean crazy. It was
What else
closed
could
in
it mean?
1999 and left in neglect. But despite that, it was first sold to a realty company in 2001, then resold to a development company for 12 million euro, who planned a 128 residential unit, but they never followed through. 2012, it was sold once again to another development company who actually did start construction in 2015, converting the hospital into apartments. On 2 occasions, the place was used for filming, once in the 1974 horror film Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, and again in 2005, it was featured in the show Most Haunted Live. Yeah, I can't live in, some place that's gothic. No, it's got to have fucking dead people. Ferris wheel in Chernobyl.
That's another abandoned Ferris wheel.
Chernobyl. Chernobyl says it all. That's why I'm not reading it. La Villa Zinelli in Italy, built in 1907 and sold to the municipality of Milan, which transformed it into a camp and international colony then during World War II as a field hospital. Oh yeah, it's not haunted at all, but it's beautiful. Oh, I could live there. Fuck the field hospital. I could definitely live there. Home built in 1908 Belgium, has the look of a haunted house.
Yeah, it does.
And it's also been used in videos as a haunted house. All right, there we go. We're done with those. Stop sharing. And we're an hour over.
Hello?
Something's like just stop talking.
I'm chucking on ice.
Did I say you still there?
I'm trying to close out tabs. There we go. There's that one. My Chrome is acting up.
Nah.
Ooh.
Well, at 12:39, we had an aircraft Sparky shouting penis.
It's like I came back in time for
You
fun.
missed some of the good houses. Fuck you.
Ouch, it happened. Sorry.
You're not allowed
Sure,
to
I'll-
let shit happen anymore.
If only, huh?
And you're not allowed to let it happen. It keeps us from seeing each other. All right.
I'm trying.
I've got 5 up votes, 4 down votes. Thank you all for the interaction.
We appreciate it.
Doesn't matter, just the interaction. And so I'm going to call it a night. I'm saying fuck the shilling. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
All right.
motherfuckers.
I didn't even show any.